Contracted Hearts by Tyla Walker.
Ever felt like you're juggling too many plates?
Oh, you have no idea. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a circus act.
And what happens when one of those plates shatters?
That's when things get interesting. When the unexpected walks through the door.
Sounds risky. Any chance of a safety net?
In this game, sweetheart, the only net is the one you weave yourself.
And what if someone offers to catch you?
That's when you need to read the fine print.
Visit TylaWalker.com for the versions of Miss Tyla's audiobooks that YouTube can't put a stop to.
For those ready to take the plunge, let's just say save 40 might sweeten the deal.
Please like and subscribe to Miss Tyla's channel for more of her amazing audiobooks.
You're listening to Tyla Walker's Contracted Hearts.
Chapter 1. Monica. I toss my apron into the laundry bin and wave at my coworkers. See you guys tomorrow. Don't work too hard, Monica, Greg calls out from the kitchen, flashing a greasy smile. Yeah, you know me, I say, pushing the door open and stepping into the city's night air. The cool breeze feels like a tiny victory after hours of serving endless plates of pasta and refilling bottomless drinks. I let out a sigh of relief, taking in the streetlights and the faint hum of traffic. Long hours at the restaurant are only part of my hustle. Between waitressing and retail shifts, I'm constantly on my feet, juggling schedules that barely leave room to breathe. But whenever I can carve out a few minutes, I dive headfirst into my art. My mind drifts to the sketch pad in my bag. It's filled with half-finished drawings, ideas that refuse to be fully formed until I have a stretch of uninterrupted time to bring them to life. I live for those moments when I can lose myself in lines and colors, even if they come far too rarely. Sometimes luck smiles on me, and I snag a freelance gig, like designing a logo for a small business or painting a mural for a local cafe. These gigs are lifelines, not just financially, but creatively. They remind me that there's a place for my art in the world outside my cluttered home. Then there are the local art shows. Setting up my pieces alongside other hopeful artists gives me a rush every time. Watching people stop to admire my work, some even deciding to take one home. Those are the moments that keep me going. Last month, an older couple bought one of my landscapes, saying it reminded them of their honeymoon in Italy. Their words had stuck with me all week. I walked briskly through familiar streets toward our small home. The neighborhood's quiet now, save for the distant laughter from an open window and the occasional bark of a dog. It's comforting in its own way, predictable and steady. The front porch light flickers as I approach, casting long shadows across the worn steps. Pushing open the creaky door, I'm greeted by silence and the faint scent of lavender from Mom's diffuser. This place may be modest, but it's ours. Mom, I'm home, I call out, my voice echoing through the quiet house. The only response is the soft hum of the refrigerator. I pause, listening for any sign of movement, but all I hear is the steady rhythm of her breathing from the next room. I step closer, lowering my voice. Did you already eat? The question lingers in the stillness, unanswered. I tiptoe quietly through the dim hallway, glancing into my mom's room. She's fast asleep, her frail body barely making a dent in the mattress. The soft glow of the nightlight casts gentle shadows on her peaceful face. I linger for a moment, listening to her steady breathing, feeling a rush of gratitude that she's resting comfortably tonight. Moving on, I head towards my bedroom, my sanctuary. The second I push open the door, I'm greeted by the familiar scent of paint and paper. Canvases line the walls, each telling its own story. Some are vibrant with life, others are muted, still searching for their voice. Finally, I whisper, running my fingers lightly over the edges of each canvas. The familiar strokes and hues bring a sense of calm. Hello, my lovelies. I murmur, a smile playing on my lips as I take in the work I've poured my heart into. My eyes land on the canvas sitting on the easel in the center of the room. It's a work in progress, a sprawling cityscape with intricate details that I've been obsessing over for weeks. I can see it in my mind's eye, every line and shadow perfectly placed. But translating that vision onto the canvas is a different beast altogether. I drop my bag on the floor and make my way to the easel, fingers itching to pick up a brush. The chaos of my day jobs melts away when I'm here, surrounded by my creations. This is where I feel most alive, most myself. Dreaming of being an artist full-time isn't just some fleeting fantasy for me, it's everything. I want to spend my days lost in color and form, not buried under piles of receipts or serving tables. But dreams don't pay bills or cover the mortgage. The inconsistent income from my art makes it difficult to cover even basic expenses. One month, I might sell a couple of pieces and feel like I'm on top of the world. The next month, nothing. It's a roller coaster ride with more downs than ups. So I keep grinding at my day jobs, waitressing at Mario's and folding clothes at Bennett's Boutique, hoping that one day I'll make it as an artist. Each shift feels like another brick in the wall between me and my dream. But I push through it because what other choice do I have? I sit down on the small stool by my easel and pick up a brush. As soon as it touches the canvas, everything else fades away. This is where hope lives, in these strokes and colors, in this small room where dreams take shape against all odds. I dip my brush into a swirl of cobalt blue, feeling the familiar rush of excitement as the color spreads across the canvas. But then, the paint seems to lose its magic. I need a different texture, something more rugged, I mutter, my gaze darting over the cluttered desk, scanning for the paint spatula I know is buried somewhere. Brushes, tubes of paint, and crumpled sketches litter the surface. Now, where did I put it? Standing up, I rummage through a drawer, shoving aside tubes of paint and old sketches. My fingers brush against an open envelope. My heart skips a beat as I pull it out. It's the foreclosure warning, the one I've been pretending didn't exist. My stomach tightens. I knew it was bad, but seeing those words again feels like a punch to the gut. Our financial troubles aren't just some abstract concept. They're very real and closing in fast. It wasn't always like this. There was a time when Mom and I didn't have to worry about money, when our lives were filled with laughter and art shows, not doctor visits and overdue bills. I remember the day everything changed. Mom had been feeling off for weeks, but she brushed it aside, calling it stress or fatigue. When we finally went to the doctor, we got hit with a diagnosis that shattered our world, chronic illness requiring regular medical care. The cost of her medications and treatments quickly became overwhelming. Every time I turned around, there was another bill to pay, another expense to cover. We tried to manage it all. Her health, our home, but it felt like drowning in quicksand. No, I can't lose everything. Not now, not when I'm so close, I exclaim, shoving the envelope back into the drawer and slamming it shut, as if that could somehow make it disappear. The weight of reality presses down on me. Every penny I make goes toward keeping us afloat, ensuring Mom gets the care she needs. I sacrifice my own needs without a second thought, because she's my world. I sit back on my stool, the weight of that damned envelope pressing down on me. The cobalt blue on the canvas stares back, mocking me with its vibrancy, while my life feels like it's painted in shades of gray. The medical bills keep piling up. Every month a new statement arrives, demanding money we don't have. It's like we're bleeding cash with no way to stop it. And now, with the foreclosure threat hanging over our heads, it feels like we're one step away from losing everything. I drop the brush and press my palms against my eyes, trying to push back the tears. Crying won't solve anything, I tell myself, but the words feel hollow. The weight of it all feels unbearable. The pressure to be strong for Mom, to keep a roof over our heads, it's suffocating. How did we end up here? I whisper, a silent prayer pleading for answers. I think back to when I first started painting, how every stroke felt like a promise of something beautiful, something meaningful. Now it feels like I'm painting over cracks in a crumbling foundation. I glance at my hands, stained with paint, a testament to my struggle to pull us out of this pit. The colors smeared across my fingers feel like a second skin, a constant reminder of the work that consumes me. Each brushstroke, each drop of paint is a step closer to something better. At least, that's what I tell myself. This exhibit, it has to be the one, I say, the words echoing in my mind like a mantra. This is my big break. It has to be. I can't afford for it to be anything less. I dive back into my work, determination tightening in my chest. The cityscape on the canvas needs more life, more soul. My brush moves swiftly, filling in the gaps with vibrant hues and intricate details. I pour everything into it, the frustration, the hope, the desperation. The lines and colors start to merge into something beautiful, something that speaks louder than words ever could. Each stroke is a silent plea for change, for an end to the constant struggle. I lose myself in the process, hours slipping by unnoticed as I layer on shades of twilight and hints of dawn. The cityscape comes alive under my hands, transforming from a collection of lines and shapes into a living, breathing entity. This piece, it's different. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is what will save us, I say, feeling like all my dreams and fears have been woven into the fabric of the canvas, creating something raw and real. Something that might finally catch someone's eye and make them see me for what I am, an artist worth investing in. My phone buzzes on the desk, but I ignore it. Nothing else matters right now but this moment, this creation. If I can just get it right, maybe, just maybe, we'll have a shot at turning things around, I murmur, laying down another stroke with my brush. The light outside shifts from deep blue to the first hints of morning gray by the time I step back from the easel, wiping sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. The painting isn't finished yet, not by a long shot, but it's closer to what I need it to be, closer to saving us. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding and drop onto my bed, eyes heavy but heart lighter than it's been in days. Today will bring more challenges, more bills and worries, but right now I've created something beautiful amidst the chaos, and that's enough for me.
Chapter 2. Alex. I stride into my father's office, my footsteps muffled by the plush carpet. The familiar scent of leather and old books hits me, a constant reminder of the power that resides within these walls. My father, Richard Donovan, sits behind his imposing mahogany desk, his steely gaze fixed on me. "Alex," he says, his voice carrying the weight of expectations. "Take a seat." I settle into the chair across from him, my spine straight, shoulders back. "What's this about, Dad?" He leans forward, clasping his hands on the desk. "You know damn well what this is about. The board meeting's coming up, and we need to solidify your image." I resist the urge to roll my eyes. "My image is fine." "It's not enough," he snaps. "You're the face of this company, Alex, the heir to the Donovan legacy. It's high time you started acting like it." "And how exactly should I act?" I challenge, my jaw clenching. He narrows his eyes. "For starters, you need to settle down, find a wife, start a family. Show the board and our investors that you're stable, responsible." I scoff, because a ring on my finger suddenly makes me more capable of running a multi-billion-dollar corporation. "Don't be obtuse," he growls. "It's about perception. The public, our shareholders. They want to see a man who can commit, who has roots, not some playboy bachelor who's more interested in partying. The words sting, but I don't let it show. I'm committed to this company, Dad. I've poured my blood, sweat, and tears into it. Isn't that enough? It's not, he says firmly. The board is watching you, Alex. Every move, every decision. They need to see that you're ready to step up, to carry on the Donovan tradition. I lean back, crossing my arms. And if I don't want to play by these rules? His eyes flash dangerously. Then you're jeopardizing everything we've built. Is that what you want? To throw away generations of hard work because you're too selfish to do what's necessary? The accusation hits me like a slap in the face. I stand up, my hands braced on his desk. I'm not the selfish one here. You're the one trying to control every aspect of my life, all for the sake of your precious company. Our company, he corrects, his voice low and menacing. And don't forget it. You have a responsibility, Alex. It's time you lived up to it. I can't believe what I'm hearing. My father's words echo in my head, each syllable a hammer blow to my sense of self-worth. All my hard work, my dedication, reduced to this archaic notion of what a leader should be. I grip the edge of his desk, my knuckles turning white. You've got to be kidding me, I spit out, my voice trembling with rage. So all my hard work, all the late nights and sacrifices, mean jack unless I put a ring on some poor woman's finger? My father's eyes narrow. Don't be dramatic, Alex. This isn't about negating your work. It's about solidifying your position. Bullcrap, I snap. It's about control, your control. He leans back, his chair creaking. It's about reassurance. The stakeholders need to see stability, commitment, a family man at the helm. I let out a bitter laugh. And what if I don't want that? What if I want to lead this company based on my merits, not some outdated family values bullcrap? Then you're not ready for this position, he says, his voice cold as ice. This isn't a game, Alex. This is about legacy, about securing our future. I push away from the desk, pacing the room. The walls feel like they're closing in, suffocating me with expectations and demands. And what about my future, Dad? My life? Your life is this company, he growls. It's time you accepted that. End your old life, Alex. Embrace this new one. It's the only way to secure your place as CEO. I reel back, my father's words hitting me like a sucker punch to the gut. The room suddenly feels too small, the air too thick. I loosen my tie, struggling to breathe. My old life, I snap, letting out a hollow laugh. Oh, so now my personal life is up for board review? What's next, Dad? You want to pick out my clothes too? Maybe decide what I eat for breakfast? He leans back, unfazed. Your bachelor lifestyle isn't cutting it anymore. The board needs to see that you're stable, dependable. No, I counter, my voice rising. This is about you scrutinizing my every goddamn choice. Good or bad, nothing's ever enough for you, is it? I start pacing, my shoes digging into the plush carpet. Remember when I closed the Hartman deal? You said it wasn't impressive enough. When I streamlined our supply chain? You barely acknowledged it, but God forbid I go out for a drink with friends, and suddenly I'm on the front page of your hit list. My father stands, his face reddening. That's enough, Alex. You need to grow up and face reality. Reality? I scoff. The reality is I've busted my ass for this company. I've given up relationships, friendships, my own life, all to prove myself to you. And it's never enough. I stop, turning to face him head on. Well, guess what, Dad? I'm done. I won't be bullied into marriage just for appearances. I won't let you dictate my life. I'm about to storm out when my father's voice, cold as steel, stops me dead in my tracks. Not so fast, Alex. You walk out that door, you're walking away from everything. I turn slowly, my heart pounding. What are you talking about? He stands, hands planted on his desk. I'm giving you an ultimatum. 1 year. That's how long you have to get married and present a stable family image. If you don't, you can kiss your chance at CEO goodbye. The words hit me like a sledgehammer. I can't breathe. Can't think. You can't be serious. Dead serious, he says, his eyes boring into mine. It's time to grow up, son. Show the board you're ready to lead. I open my mouth to argue, but nothing comes out. My whole life, everything I've worked for, hangs in the balance. And for what? 'Cause I won't play house to satisfy a bunch of old men in suits? This is bull, I finally managed to spit out. It's business, he counters. Your choice, Alex. Clock's ticking. I want to scream, to flip his desk, to tell him where he can shove his ultimatum. But I can't. The weight of my ambition, of years of sacrifice and hard work, holds me back. I've given everything to this company. Can I really walk away now? Without another word, I turn and storm out of his office. The hallway feels too narrow, the air too thick. I loosen my tie, gasping for breath. Mr. Donovan? My assistant's concerned voice barely registers. Are you all right? I wave her off, heading for the elevator. I need to get out of here, need to think. The doors slide open and I step inside, jabbing the lobby button repeatedly. As the elevator descends, so does the reality of my situation. Marry within a year or lose everything. It's insane, it's unfair, Damn, it's my life now. The doors open and I stride through the lobby, ignoring the greetings from employees. Outside, the city bustles, oblivious to my internal crisis. I flag down my car, sliding into the back seat. Where to? My driver asks. I hesitate. Where the hell do I go from here? Just drive, I mutter, my mind racing. As the car pulls into traffic, I stare out the window, unseeing. I can't give up on being CEO. It's all I've ever wanted, all I've worked for. But marriage? A family? In a year? I clench my fists, anger and determination warring inside me. There has to be a way out of this, a loophole, something. I'm not ready to give up my freedom, but I'm sure as hell not giving up my future either. I slump against the car's leather seat, my fingers trembling as I dial my friend Jake's number. The city blurs past the window, a chaotic mess that mirrors my current state of mind. Jake picks up on the third ring and I spill everything. The ultimatum, the impossible deadline, the suffocating weight of expectations crushing my chest. Jake listens, offering a string of colorful expletives that would make even my old man blush. When I finish, he doesn't miss a beat. Screw that, man. You need a breather. Meet me at Palette in 20. That new exhibit's opening tonight. I hesitate, my mind still reeling from the confrontation. But the thought of drowning in whiskey and pretentious art suddenly seems like the perfect escape. Yeah, all right. I'll be there. I redirect my driver, and soon enough, I'm stepping onto the sidewalk outside Palette. The gallery's facade is all sleek lines and modern angles, a stark contrast to the stuffy boardrooms I'm used to. As I head for the door, my steps quicken with renewed purpose. I won't let anyone dictate my life. Not my father. Not the board. It's time to take control. To play the game on my own terms. Whatever it takes, I'll find a way to win this thing.
Chapter 3. Monica. I stand in the middle of Palette, my heart pounding like a jackhammer. This is it, my first solo exhibit. Everything I've worked for, all those sleepless nights and paint-stained fingers, it's all led to this moment. Hey, Monica, where do you want this one? Frank, one of the gallery workers, holds up my latest piece, Fractured Dreams. Over there, I point to the far wall. It needs to be the focal point when people walk in. Frank nods and carefully maneuvers the painting into place. I watch, biting my lip, as he adjusts it slightly. Perfect, I breathe, more to myself than to him. The curator, Lydia, bustles over, her clipboard clutched to her chest. Monica, darling, how are we feeling? Ready for the big night? I force a smile. As ready as I'll ever be. She gives my arm a squeeze. You'll do wonderfully. Your work is as exquisite. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. Exquisite is one thing, but will it sell? That's the million-dollar question. Or in my case, the pay the bills and keep a roof over our heads question. I move to the next piece. Resilience in bloom. It's a riot of colors, hope bursting through darkness. Mom's favorite. This one needs to be angled slightly, I tell Frank. We want the light to hit it just right. I scan the room, taking in the arrangement of my pieces. Each one tells a story, a piece of my soul laid bare on canvas. They need to be in just the right order, creating a narrative that will captivate and move the viewers. Lydia, I call out, I think we need to swap echoes of silence with unspoken truths. The flow feels off. Lydia nods, already directing the workers to make the change. As they do, I take a deep breath, willing my nerves to settle. This is my moment, my chance to shine, and I'm going to make damn sure I don't waste it. The gallery doors open, and suddenly it's as if a dam has burst. People flood in, their chatter filling the air like a symphony of excitement. My heart races, threatening to burst out of my chest. This is it, my moment. Suddenly, I'm caught in a whirlwind of handshakes, smiles, and explanations, my heart racing with each compliment and inquiry. Welcome, I say, greeting a couple who've just entered. I suggest you start here and make your way through the gallery. That's how the artwork is meant to be experienced. They nod, intrigued, and I watch as they begin their tour. It's surreal, seeing so many people engage with my work. As I walk through the space, more guests arrive. Soon the gallery is buzzing with life, each painting surrounded by small clusters of people. Their whispers and gasps of appreciation are music to my ears. For a moment, I allow myself to dream. What if this is it? The start of something big? The end of scraping by? Of choosing between mom's meds and paying the electric bill? I shake my head, trying to stay grounded. But the hope bubbles up, irrepressible. Maybe, just maybe, our luck is finally changing. As I turn to greet another guest, I catch sight of a man watching me from across the room. There's something about his stance, confident yet curious, that draws my attention. But before I can dwell on it, I'm pulled into another conversation. The use of color here is extraordinary, an older woman says, pointing to resilience in bloom. What inspired this piece? I launch into an explanation, pouring my heart into every word. It's about finding hope in the darkest moments, how even in the midst of chaos and pain, beauty can still emerge. She listens intently, nodding along. As she moves on to the next piece, I feel a presence behind me. Quite the turnout, a deep voice says. I turn to find the man who'd been watching me earlier. Up close, he's even more striking, tall, with piercing eyes that seem to see right through me. I'm Alex, he says, extending his hand. And you must be Lady of the Hour, Monica. I must say your work is intriguing. I meet Alex's gaze, my heart skipping a beat. There's something magnetic about him, a charisma that draws me in despite my better judgment. I shake his hand, feeling the warmth of his grip. Thanks, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. What brings you here tonight? Are you an art collector? He chuckles, a deep, rich sound that sends a shiver down my spine. Not exactly. Let's just say I have an appreciation for creativity in all its forms. I raise an eyebrow, intrigued. Care to elaborate? Well, he says, gesturing to fractured dreams, take this piece. The way you've captured the tension between hope and despair, it's raw, real, like you've lived it. His words hit close to home, and I find myself opening up. I have this piece. It's about the struggle to hold on to your dreams when life keeps throwing curveballs. Alex nods, his eyes never leaving mine. I get that. The pressure to live up to expectations, to be something you're not sure you want to be. Sounds like you're speaking from experience, I probe gently. He smirks, but there's a hint of something darker behind it. Let's just say I know a thing or two about expectations. Before I can dig deeper, Lydia appears at my elbow, practically vibrating with excitement. Monica, darling, she gushes. There's someone you simply must meet, a potential buyer for one of your pieces. I turn back to Alex, torn. I'm sorry, I have to. He waves me off with a smile. Go, knock 'em dead. As Lydia leads me away, I can't help but glance back. Alex stands there, hands in his pockets, watching me go. Something tells me this isn't the last I'll see of him. I weave through the crowd, my mind buzzing with the excitement of potential sales and the lingering thoughts of Alex. The gallery hums with chatter and the clink of champagne glasses, but I can't shake the feeling of his eyes on me. Monica, Lydia's voice cuts through my reverie. Mr. Hartley here is absolutely enamored with resilience in bloom. He's considering making an offer. I snap back to attention, turning to face a distinguished older gentleman. Mr. Hartley, it's a pleasure. What drew you to this piece? As I engage in conversation about the painting's symbolism and technique, I catch sight of Alex across the room. He's talking to another guest, but his gaze keeps drifting back to me. There's something in his eyes, a mix of admiration and curiosity that makes my stomach flutter. After sealing the deal with Mr. Hartley, my first sale of the night, I make my way back to Alex. He's alone now, studying fractured dreams with an intensity that takes my breath away. So what's the verdict? I ask, sidling up to him. Still intrigued? He turns, a slow smile spreading across his face. More than ever. You know, I can't help but feel like I know you through these paintings. It's like you've captured pieces of my own life on canvas. I raise an eyebrow. Oh, and what pieces would those be? The struggle, the pressure to be something you're not sure you want to be, he says, his voice low. It's all there, in every brushstroke. His words hit me. How can he see so clearly what I've been trying to express? It's unnerving and exhilarating all at once. You're pretty perceptive for a guy who claims not to be an art collector, I tease, trying to lighten the mood. He laughs, the sound rich and warm. Maybe I just needed the right artist to spark my interest. Our eyes lock, and for a moment, the noise of the gallery fades away. It's just us, standing in front of my soul laid bare on canvas. The moment is broken by Lydia, calling me over to meet another potential buyer. I excuse myself, but as I walk away, I can't help but glance back. Alex is watching me go, a thoughtful expression on his face. Throughout the night, we keep finding our way back to each other. Between sales and conversations with other guests, I find myself drawn to Alex like a magnet. It's like he's looking right through the canvas, straight into everything I've been feeling. He sees the struggle, the late nights, the doubts, and suddenly I feel like everything I've put into this is worth it. For the first time, it feels like someone really gets it. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the moment things start to turn around for me. I hold on to that feeling, letting it grow inside me. Soon Mom and I might actually get our old life back.
Chapter 4. Alex. I weave through the gallery, my eyes drawn to Monica's vibrant canvases. Each piece pulses with life, raw emotion captured in bold strokes and daring colors. It's unlike anything I've seen before. My gaze drifts to Monica herself, gesticulating animatedly as she chats with a potential buyer. Her passion radiates, infectious and pure. When was the last time I felt that alive? The thought slams into me like a wrecking ball, leaving me winded. Hell, I can't even remember. My entire goddamn life has been one big, meticulously choreographed dance number with every single step mapped out by my father's iron-fisted will. I'm nothing but a glorified puppet. The CEO in waiting with strings so tightly wound, I can barely breathe. The realization is a harsh wake-up call, one that leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. How did I let myself get roped into this soulless charade for so long? Gritting my teeth, I clench my fists as a familiar rage bubbles up inside me, daring me to finally cut those strings and take my life into my own hands. Crap, I mutter, rubbing my temples. The ultimatum echoes in my head. Marry or lose everything. As if finding a life partner is as simple as checking off a box on a to-do list. I need air, or a drink, or both. I shake my head, trying to clear the fog of frustration clouding my mind. Forget this noise. I need a distraction, something real to ground me. My eyes scan the room, searching for Monica's vibrant presence. There, by her largest canvas, a swirl of blues and golds that reminds me of a turbulent sea at sunset. She's talking with a curly-haired petite woman, their heads bent close together. As I approach, their hushed voices grow clearer. Don't know how much longer I can keep this up, Sam. Monica sighs, her shoulders sagging. Mom's new treatment is crazy expensive, and the gallery takes such a huge cut. What about that fancy-pants buyer who was eyeing your work earlier? Sam asks, nudging Monica's arm. All talk, no wallet, Monica replies, a bitter edge to her voice. Story of my life lately. My steps falter. Crap, I hadn't realized. The raw pain in her voice resonates deep within me, like a heavy weight settling in my chest. Here I am, bitching about my gilded cage while she's fighting tooth and nail just to keep her head above water. Have you thought about, I don't know, a loan or something? Sam suggests hesitantly. Monica snorts. Right, because banks are just lining up to throw money at starving artists with mountains of medical debt. I stand there, my thoughts racing at breakneck speed. Monica's words reverberate in my mind, each one a sharp reminder of her hardships. I can't just ignore this. But how do I offer help without seeming like a patronizing jerk? Then it hits me. A plan so insane, so utterly ridiculous. It might just work. It's like a lightning bolt straight to my brain, electrifying every nerve ending. My heart pounds against my ribcage, a war drum signaling the start of something big. I could solve both our problems in one fell swoop. She needs money. I need a wife. It's unconventional as hell, probably unethical too, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And if she's half as desperate as I am, maybe, just maybe, she'll be crazy enough to go along with it. Before I can talk myself out of it, I'm moving. My feet carry me across the space between us as my arm reaches out to her. Excuse me, I cut in, my voice rougher than I intend. Monica, I need to speak with you. Now. Without waiting for a response, I take her arm gently but firmly, steering her away from her wide-eyed friend. I lead her to a quiet corner of the gallery, hidden behind a massive abstract sculpture. What's going on? Monica hisses, yanking her arm free. Her eyes flash with indignation, a spark of fire that only fuels my determination. I have a proposition for you, I say, the words tumbling out before I can second-guess myself. One that could solve both our problems. Monica's eyebrows arch high, doubt etched across her features. Both our problems? I barely know you, let alone what problems you're dealing with. Trust me, I've got 'em, I mutter, running a hand through my hair. Look, I heard what you were saying to your friend about the money troubles, your mom's medical bills. Her face hardens. That was a private conversation. I know. I'm sorry. But hear me out, okay? I take a deep breath, steeling myself. What if I told you I could make all those problems go away? Monica crosses her arms, her stance defensive. How? And what's in it for you? Because let me tell you, if this is some sleazy, buy the starving artist routine. No! God, no! I interrupt, horrified. It's nothing like that. Damn, this is going to sound crazy. Try me, she challenges, her chin tilted up defiantly. Here goes nothing. I need a wife. Monica's eyes widen, her jaw dropping open. For a moment, she just stares at me, her expression a mix of shock and disbelief. Then, without a word, she turns on her heel and starts to walk away. Hell, I mutter, reaching out to grab her arm. Wait, Monica, please. I know how this sounds, but... She whirls back, yanking her arm free. Are you out of your mind? Or just incredibly drunk? Neither, I say, holding up my hands. Look, I know it's crazy, but hear me out, please. Monica crosses her arms, her gaze skeptical. You have 30 seconds before I call security. I take a deep breath, the words tumbling out. It's a business arrangement. Pure and simple. I need a wife for complicated reasons. You need money. We could help each other out. And what exactly would this arrangement entail? She asks, her voice laced with suspicion. A marriage in name only. We'd live together, present a united front to the public. In return, I'd cover all your expenses. Your mom's medical bills, your art supplies, everything. Monica's eyes narrow. And what's stopping you from just finding an actual girlfriend? I run a hand through my hair, frustration seeping into my voice. Because I don't have time for that crap. My father's breathing down my neck, threatening to cut me out of the family business if I don't settle down soon. So you want to use me as a prop in your family drama? Her tone is sharp, cutting. When you put it like that, I wince. Look, I know it's not ideal, but think about it. You'd be free to focus on your art without worrying about money. And it's not forever. We set a time frame, maybe a year or two, then go our separate ways. Monica's expression softens slightly, a flicker of consideration in her eyes. And what about physical expectations? None, I say firmly. This is strictly business. We'd have separate bedrooms, separate lives outside of public appearances. She bites her lip, clearly torn. It's insane. You know that, right? I nod, a wry smile tugging at my lips. Completely bonkers, but sometimes crazy is exactly what we need. I watch Monica's face intently, searching for any sign of what she's thinking. Her brow furrows, eyes darting back and forth as if reading an invisible script. The silence between us stretches, taut as a bowstring. I need time to think about this, Monica finally says, her voice barely above a whisper. Relief washes over me. It's not a yes, but it's not a hell no either. I'll take it. Of course, I nod, taking a step back to give her some breathing room. Take all the time you need. This isn't exactly a small decision. Monica's shoulders relax slightly, but her eyes remain guarded. How do I contact you? Once I've decided. I fish a business card out of my wallet, hesitating before handing it over. My personal number's on the back. Call anytime. She takes the card, turning it over in her hands. Alex Donovan. Wait, Donovan as in Donovan Industries? Crap. I wince internally. Yeah, that's the one. Jesus, Monica breathes, her eyes widening. You're not just rich, you're loaded. I shrug, uncomfortable with the awe in her voice. Money's not everything. Says the guy who's never had to choose between paying rent and buying groceries, she retorts, but there's no real heat behind her words. Fair point, I concede. Look, I know this is a lot to take in. If you want to talk more about it, I'm open. Monica nods slowly, tucking the card into her pocket. I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking, I say, fighting the urge to push for more. And Monica? Whatever you decide, your art is incredible. Don't give up on it. A small smile tugs at the corner of her mouth. Thanks. I should get back to the exhibit. Right, of course. I step aside, gesturing towards the main gallery. Good luck with the rest of the night. As Monica walks away, I let out a long breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. My heart's still racing, adrenaline coursing through my veins. It's crazy. This whole situation is absolutely insane. But for the first time in years, I feel alive. This subtle act of defiance towards my father ignites a thrilling sensation within me. Grabbing a glass of champagne from a passing waiter, I down it in one gulp. The bubbles tickle my nose, a welcome distraction from the tornado of thoughts swirling in my head. Now comes the hard part, waiting.
Chapter 5. Monica. I stare at Alex's business card on my nightstand, its embossed letters catching the dim light. My fingers twitch, itching to reach for my phone, but I stop myself. Again. This is insane, I mutter, rolling onto my back and staring at the ceiling. The shadows dance, mocking my indecision. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Sam. Everything okay? Haven't heard from you since your opening. I sigh, typing back, just tired. Talk soon. The lie tastes bitter. I toss the phone aside and sit up, running my hands through my tangled hair. What am I doing? I ask the empty room. Considering marrying a stranger for money, who even does that? But the stack of unpaid bills on my desk answers my question. The image of Mom's face, lined with pain she tries to hide, flashes through my mind. I grab Alex's card, twirling it between my fingers. His voice echoes in my head. It's just business, Monica. 1 year and all your problems disappear. My stomach churns, a nauseating wave of unease washing over me. It feels wrong, like I'm selling a piece of myself. But isn't that what I've been doing with every soul-crushing job I've taken? Pouring coffee, waiting tables, folding clothes until my fingers ache, all for a paycheck that barely covers our bills. Yet a marriage should be based on mutual affection, not a mere financial transaction. I can't help but question if I'll ever find someone to marry, despite all my difficulties. Maybe it will happen once this chaos is over, when I'm not drowning in debt and desperation. But what if our struggles never end? What if Mom's health keeps declining, and I'm stuck in this cycle forever? Will the chance for love slip through my fingers while I'm too busy trying to keep our heads above water? The thought makes my chest tighten, a lump forming in my throat. Is this really what my life has come to? Choosing between love and survival? I pick up Alex's card, my fingers trembling as I reach for my phone. The weight of the decision presses down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. Before I can change my mind, I press the dial on my phone. Samantha, I need you, I blurt out as soon as Sam answers. I'm on my way, she replies, no questions asked. 20 minutes later, Sam bursts through our front door, her curly hair wild from the wind. Spill, she demands, kicking off her shoes. I pace the living room, wringing my hands. You're gonna think I'm crazy. Try me, Sam says, flopping onto the couch. I take a deep breath and launch into the story of Alex's proposal. Sam's eyes widen with each word. Holy crap, Mon, she whispers when I finish. That's intense. I know, right? I collapse next to her. What the hell do I do? Sam chews her lip, thinking. Well, let's break it down. Pro, it solves your money problems. Con, you'd be lying to everyone for a year. Including Mom, I add, guilt gnawing at my stomach. Yeah, but... Sam hesitates. Mon, think about it. Your mom's medical bills would be covered. You could focus on your art without worrying about rent. I shake my head. But it feels so wrong, like I'm selling myself. Or you're taking control of a terrible situation. Sam counters. Look, I get it. It's not ideal. But neither is working yourself to death and still barely scraping by. Her words hit home. I stand up, walking to the window. The city stretches out before me, full of opportunities I can't seem to reach. What if? I start, then stop. What if what? Sam prompts. I turn back to her. What if I fall for him? Or he falls for me? This whole thing could blow up in our faces. Sam snorts. Please, you're way too smart to fall for some rich boy's games. Hey, I throw a pillow at her. I'm being serious here. She catches it, her expression softening. I know, Mon, and I'm worried too, but I also know you. You're strong, you're smart, and you deserve a break. Maybe this is it. I sink back onto the couch, my mind racing. So you think I should do it? Sam shrugs. I think you should do what's best for you and your mom. If that means playing wife for a year to secure your future, then maybe it's worth considering. Her words hang in the air, heavy with possibility. I pick up Alex's card again, running my thumb over the raised letters. The memory crashes into me like a sudden blow, making my stomach lurch. That sickening moment when I found the eviction notice, its stark black letters blurring as panic set in. The walls of our tiny home seemed to close in, suffocating me with the weight of our impending homelessness. I'd barely managed to focus on my work that night, my hands shaking so badly I could hardly hold a brush. The canvas became a blur of tears and trembling strokes as I tried desperately to paint my way out of our financial nightmare. If I hope to become an artist, I can't achieve that with these problems hanging over my head. My eyes land on one of my paintings hanging crookedly on the wall, a swirl of vibrant colors fighting against an encroaching darkness. It feels painfully on the nose right now, like the universe is mocking me. You're right, Sam, I say quietly. I can't keep living like this, always one step away from disaster. And Mom, my voice cracks. She needs better care than I can give her right now. Sam nods slowly. So you're considering Alex's offer? I stop pacing, turning to face her. Am I crazy for even thinking about it? Crazy? No, Sam says, shaking her head. Desperate? Maybe. But sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures, right? I snort. Yeah, and marrying a stranger for money is about as desperate as it gets. Look, Sam says, standing up and grabbing my shoulders. You're not selling your soul here. It's a business arrangement. 1 year of your life in exchange for financial security, proper care for your mom, and time to become a real artist. When you look at it that way. It almost makes sense. I finish, the realization settling in my gut like a lead weight. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it. Sam pulls me into a tight hug. Whatever happens, I've got your back, okay? I nod against her shoulder, grateful for her unwavering support. As we pull apart, I reach for my phone, Alex's business card still clutched in my other hand. Here goes nothing, I mutter, dialing the number. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. I arrive at the cafe 15 minutes early. My nerves frayed and my stomach in knots. The aroma of fresh coffee fills the air, but it does nothing to calm me. I choose a secluded corner table and order a latte, more to have something to do with my hands than out of any desire to drink it. Alex strides in precisely on time, looking every inch the successful businessman in his tailored suit. He spots me and makes his way over, his confident demeanor a stark contrast to my jittery state. Monica, he says, sliding into the seat across from me. I'm glad you agreed to meet. I nod, trying to keep my voice steady. Let's get this over with. He raises an eyebrow. Not exactly the enthusiasm I was hoping for in my future wife. Fake wife, I correct him, perhaps a bit too sharply. Right, he says, pulling out a thick folder. Shall we review the terms? For the next hour, we pore over the contract. It's more detailed than I expected, covering everything from financial arrangements to living situations to public appearances. So you'll cover all of my mother's medical expenses? I ask, my finger tracing the relevant clause. Yes, and provide for her ongoing care, Alex confirms. You'll also receive a monthly stipend for your personal use. I swallow hard. The amount he's offering is more than I've ever earned in a year. And in return, I just pretend to be your wife? For 1 year, he nods. We'll attend social events together, present a united front to my family and the board. But our private lives remain separate. My eyes scan the document, devouring each word as they blur into the next. This is strictly business, Alex assures me, his tone matter of fact. I need a wife to secure my position as CEO. You need financial stability. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement. I lean back, my mind racing. And after the year is up? We go our separate ways, he says simply. A quiet divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Your future will be secure, and I'll have proven my commitment to the company. It sounds so clinical, so cold. But isn't that what I want? No messy emotions, just a business deal? What if? I struggle to voice my concerns. Alex leans forward, his expression softening slightly. Monica, I understand your hesitation, but I assure you, everything has been considered. This contract protects both of us. I take a deep breath, my fingers hovering over the signature line. And if I sign this, all my problems just disappear? Not disappear, Alex corrects gently. But they become manageable. You'll have the freedom to pursue your art without financial stress. The pen feels heavy in my hand. I think of my mother, of the stack of unpaid bills at home, of my dreams of becoming a full-time artist. With a shaky exhale, I sign my name. Alex countersigns, his pen moving with confident strokes. Well, Mrs. Donovan, he says, a hint of irony in his voice. Shall we toast to our new partnership? I manage a weak smile. I think I need something stronger than coffee.
Chapter 6. Alex. I scan the newly made-up room in my penthouse, my eyes darting from the plush king-size bed to the state-of-the-art entertainment system. Everything's in place, from the silk sheets to the fully stocked mini-fridge. Perfect. I've made damn sure Monica won't want for anything here. The doorbell chimes, interrupting my inspection. I stride to the door, my footsteps echoing in the marble foyer. Opening it, I find James, our building's butler, standing there with a cart full of luggage. Your expected guest has arrived, sir, he announces, his voice crisp and professional. That's when I see her. Monica. She's partially hidden behind James, looking small and uncertain. Her eyes are wide, taking in the opulent surroundings. Thank you, James, I say, slipping a roll of bills into his front pocket. He nods, understanding the unspoken instruction to handle Monica's belongings discreetly. As James wheels the cart towards Monica's designated room, I turn my attention to her. Come in, Monica, I say, gesturing towards the living area. Make yourself at home. Technically, it's your home now. She steps inside, her movements hesitant. I watch as she takes in the penthouse, her gaze lingering on the floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the city skyline. This is a lot, she murmurs, her voice barely above a whisper. I shrug, aiming for nonchalance. It's just a place. You'll get used to it. Monica turns to face me, her expression a mix of awe and discomfort. I'm not sure I will. This is so different from, well, everything I'm used to. Look, I say, running a hand through my hair. I know this is weird, but we've got a deal, right? So let's try to make the best of it. She nods slowly, then asks, "Where will I be staying?" "Follow me," I reply, leading her down the hallway. I push open a door, revealing the room I'd prepared for her. "This is your space. I hope it's okay." Monica steps inside, her eyes widening as she takes in the room. The easel by the window, the array of art supplies neatly arranged on a nearby table. You set this up for me?" she asks, her voice tinged with surprise. I shrug again, feeling oddly self-conscious. "Yeah, well, I figured you'd want to keep painting. It's important to you, right?" A small smile tugs at her lips. "It is. Thank you, Alex. This helps." "Good," I nod, relieved. "I'll let you get settled. If you need anything, just ask." She nods and I turn to leave, leaving her to unpack and adjust to her new reality. As I walk back to the living room, I can't shake the feeling that this arrangement might be more complicated than I initially thought. But I hope for my future, and that of Monica's, that it all works out. I'm sipping my morning coffee when I hear a commotion from the kitchen. Curious, I make my way there, only to find Monica surrounded by pots and pans, a determined look on her face. "What the hell are you doing?" I ask, leaning against the doorframe. Monica jumps, nearly dropping the whisk in her hand. "Jesus, Alex, you scared me." She takes a breath. "I'm making breakfast. Or trying to, anyway." Before I can respond, Claude, our private chef, rushes in. "Mademoiselle, please. This is not necessary. I can prepare whatever you desire." Monica's eyes widen. "Oh no, I couldn't possibly." "It's his job, Monica," I interject. "Let the man cook." She looks between us, clearly conflicted. But I've always made my own meals. I don't want to be a bother. I can't help but chuckle. "Trust me, you're more of a bother trying to do it yourself. No offense, but you look like you're about to burn down my kitchen." Monica glances at the mess around her and sighs. "Fine. I guess I'll have to get used to this." As Claude begins whipping up breakfast, I gesture for Monica to follow me. "Come on. We need to talk about some ground rules." We settle in the living room and I notice Monica fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. "Look," I start, "I know this is all new to you, but you need to let the staff do their jobs. That includes cooking, cleaning, laundry, all of it." "But I can do those things myself," she protests. "I'm sure you can, but that's not the point. We have an image to maintain, remember?" Monica nods reluctantly. "Right. The whole fake marriage thing." "Exactly, so rule number 1, let the staff handle the household stuff." "Okay," she agrees. "What else?" I lean back, thinking. We need to keep things professional between us. No getting too comfortable, no late-night chats, no... You know? Monica raises an eyebrow. "No what, Alex? Spit it out." "No sex," I say bluntly. "This is a business arrangement, nothing more." She snorts. "Trust me, that won't be a problem." "Good," I nod, ignoring the slight sting to my ego. "We'll have to act like a couple in public, but in private, we can keep our distance. Clear?" "Crystal," Monica says, standing up. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go see what Claude's cooked up. At least I can still feed myself, right?" As she walks away, I can't help but wonder if keeping things strictly professional will be as easy as we both think. I adjust my tie for the 100th time, pacing the living room as I wait for Monica. The company gala starts in an hour, and we need to make our grand entrance as the perfect couple. I hope this works. Monica, you ready? I call out, glancing at my watch. Just a minute. Her voice carries a tremor I've never heard before. When she finally emerges from her room, I freeze. The deep blue gown hugs her curves, the fabric shimmering under the penthouse lights. Her hair cascades in soft waves, framing her face. She looks breathtaking. Wow, I manage, my usual eloquence deserting me. Monica fidgets with her clutch, her eyes darting around the room. I look ridiculous, don't I? Like I'm playing dress-up. I frown, stepping closer. What are you talking about? This. She gestures at herself. It's not me. I feel like a fraud. Everyone's going to see right through us. Hey, I say, grabbing her shoulders gently. Look at me. She meets my gaze, her eyes wide with uncertainty. It'll be fine, I assure her, my tone resolute, as though I'm convincing myself too. Plus, you're stunning. Those sharks won't stand a chance. A small smile tugs at her lips, but it doesn't reach her eyes. You're just saying that. When have I ever just said anything? I counter, raising an eyebrow. She lets out a shaky laugh. Fair point. I release her shoulders, suddenly aware of how close we're standing. Clearing my throat, I step back. Look, I know this is all new to you. Hell, it's new to me too. But we've got this. Monica nods, taking a deep breath. And hey, if you ever feel nervous or overwhelmed, just grab my hand, I suggest. Her eyebrows shoot up. What? I shrug, aiming for nonchalance. It'll steady you, and it'll make us look like the loving couple we're supposed to be. Win-win. Right, she says, nodding slowly. The loving couple. As we head for the door, I can't shake the feeling that this night might be more challenging than I anticipated. But as I look at Monica, her chin held high despite her nerves, I know it'll work. It has to. As we step into the grand ballroom, the chatter dies down, and all eyes turn to us. Monica's grip on my arm tightens, her nails digging into my skin through the fabric of my tuxedo. I lean in close, my lips barely grazing her ear. Breathe, I whisper. You've got this. She nods almost imperceptibly, plastering on a smile that could rival any seasoned socialite. We make our way through the crowd, stopping every few feet to exchange pleasantries. Alex, my boy! A portly man with a receding hairline approaches us. And who's this vision? Gerald, I greet him with a firm handshake. Meet my soon-to-be wife, Monica. Monica extends her hand gracefully. Pleasure to meet you, Gerald. Gerald's eyebrows shoot up. A fiancé? Well, I'll be damned. You've been holding out on us, Alex. I chuckle, wrapping an arm around Monica's waist. What can I say? When you know, you know. As we move on, I catch sight of a reporter from the business section of the local paper. She's eyeing us like a hawk, her pen poised over her notepad. Incoming, I mutter to Monica. 3 o'clock. Reporter. Monica takes a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. The reporter swoops in, her smile sharp as a knife. Alex Donovan, she purrs. Care to introduce us to your mysterious companion? I flash my most charming grin. Of course. This is my fiancée, Monica James. Monica, meet Cynthia Blake from the Daily Business. Miss James, Cynthia says, her tone dripping with faux sweetness. What a surprise. How long have you two been together? Monica doesn't miss a beat. Oh, only a few months. But when it feels right, right? We wanted to keep it private. But when we got engaged, we couldn't resist sharing our joy any longer. I have to bite back a laugh. She's good. Cynthia's smile falters for a moment before she regains her composure. How romantic. And what do you do, Miss James? I'm an artist, Monica replies, her chin lifting slightly. Alex has been incredibly supportive of my work. I jump in, sensing Monica's discomfort. In fact, we met at one of her exhibitions. I was blown away by her talent. Cynthia scribbles furiously in her notepad. Fascinating. Well, I'll let you two lovebirds enjoy the party. Congratulations. As she walks away, I feel Monica relax against me. You did great, I murmur. The rest of the evening passes in a blur of champagne flutes and forced smiles. We dance, we laugh, we play the part of the perfect couple. By the time we slide into the back of my car, I'm exhausted. Monica lets out a long breath, kicking off her heels. God, my feet are killing me. I loosen my tie, feeling the tension drain from my shoulders. That wasn't so terrible. I think that even worked. She turns to me, a small smile playing on her lips. You think so? Yeah, I nod. You were impressive. Monica laughs, the sound genuine for the first time all night. Well, don't sound so surprised. As the city lights blur past the window, I find myself stealing glances at her. I found the perfect partner in this scheme. Maybe this arrangement won't be as challenging as I thought. And maybe I've just secured my position as CEO.
Chapter 7. Monica. I set my paintbrush down and step away from my canvas as the daylight begins to fade. Glancing out the window, I notice the sun sinking lower in the sky. It's time to wrap things up. I exit my room and seek out Alex, informing him, I'm going to start getting ready. We're leaving at 7, right? I watch as Alex rises from his spot on the sofa, where he's been engrossed in his phone. He turns to face me, his lips curving into a grin. What if we pass on tonight's event? He suggests. We made quite an impression at the office party. Look at this. I step closer, my bare feet padding softly on the cool hardwood floor. The screen is filled with headlines and photos from our recent public debut. Donovan Air steps out with Mystery Woman, one reads. Another proclaims, Love in the air for Alex Donovan. Wow, I breathe, scanning the articles. They really bought it, huh? Hook, line, and sinker. Alex chuckles, pocketing his phone. Which means we've earned ourselves a night off. What do you say? I bite my lip, considering. A quiet evening does sound tempting, especially after the whirlwind of the past few days, but there's a nagging voice in the back of my mind, reminding me of our arrangement, of the lines we shouldn't cross. I don't know, Alex. I hedge. Maybe we should stick to the plan, keep up appearances and all that. He raises an eyebrow, a challenge glinting in his eyes. Come on, Monica. We've earned it. Also, this gives us time to get to know each other more. Make it more authentic. Let's live a little. We deserve to celebrate our success, don't we? The way he says we sends an unexpected tingle down my spine. I push the feeling aside, focusing on practicality. Fine, but how exactly do you propose we celebrate? Alex's grin widens as he moves towards the kitchen. I've got just the thing. Wait here. I hear the clink of glasses, the pop of a cork. When he returns, he's balancing 2 wine glasses and an expensive-looking bottle. What's your poison? He asks, holding up the bottle. This is a fantastic Cabernet Sauvignon. Bold, complex, with just a hint of pretension, I interject, unable to help myself. Alex barks out a laugh, the sound rich and genuine. I was going to say oak, but I'll give you that one. So what do you say? Care to slum it with some overpriced grape juice? I hesitate for a moment longer, then shrug. What the hell? One night off can't hurt. Pour me a glass, Donovan. But if you start waxing poetic about notes and bouquets, I'm out. Deal, he says. Filling our glasses with practiced ease, he hands me one, then raises his own in a toast. To fooling the masses and taking the night off. Our glasses clink together, the sound echoing in the spacious penthouse. I sink into the plush cushions of Alex's designer couch, wine glass in hand, watching him flit around the living room like a man on a mission. He's traded his usual suit for dark jeans and a fitted sweater, and I can't help but notice how different he looks outside of work mode. "What are you up to?" I ask, taking a sip of the admittedly delicious wine. Alex flashes me a grin over his shoulder. "Creating ambiance, of course. Can't properly unwind without the right atmosphere." I raise an eyebrow as he fiddles with a remote, bringing the gas fireplace to life. A warm glow fills the room, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Next, he moves to a sleek sound system, tapping away at a touchscreen. Soft jazz begins to flow from hidden speakers, the mellow tones of a saxophone filling the air. "Really, Alex?" I can't keep the amusement from my voice. "Jazz?" He shrugs, unrepentant. "It's relaxing." I watch as he arranges a small spread of cheeses, fruits, and crackers on the coffee table in front of me. The attention to detail is impressive. I'll give him that. Finally, he dims the lights, bathing the room in a soft, warm glow. As he steps back to survey his handiwork, I can't help but feel a twinge of unease. "Okay, Donovan," I say, trying to keep my tone light despite the sudden tightness in my chest. "I think this is crossing the line of professional." There's a hint of challenge in my voice, a reminder of the boundaries we've set. This feels dangerously close to something else. Something we're not supposed to be. Alex settles into the armchair across from me, his own glass of wine in hand. His eyes meet mine, steady and unreadable. "Relax," he says, his voice low and smooth. "This is how I like to unwind. Just enjoy it." I open my mouth to argue, to remind him of our agreement, but something in his expression stops me. There's no hidden agenda there, no attempt at seduction, just a man trying to decompress after a long week. I take a deep breath, willing the tension to leave my shoulders. "All right," I concede, reaching for a piece of cheese. The warmth of the fireplace and the mellow jazz create a cozy atmosphere, softening the edges of my usual wariness. I take another sip of wine, savoring the rich flavor on my tongue. "So, Monica," Alex leans forward, his elbows resting on his knees. "Tell me about your first painting. What inspired you to pick up a brush?" I can't help but smile at the memory. "It was my mom, actually. She bought me this cheap watercolor set for my 10th birthday. I painted this awful blobby thing that was supposed to be our cat." Alex chuckles. "I bet it was a masterpiece." "Oh, absolutely. A regular Picasso," I quip, rolling my eyes. "What about you? Any hidden artistic talents?" He shakes his head, a rueful grin playing on his lips. "Unless you count doodling during board meetings. I'm more of a numbers guy." "That must come in handy in your line of work," I muse, reaching for a grape. Alex's expression shifts, a shadow passing over his features. "Sometimes, but it's not always about the numbers." I raise an eyebrow, intrigued by this glimpse beneath his polished exterior. "What do you mean?" He sighs, running a hand through his hair. "There's more to running a business than just profit margins. It's about people, too. Their livelihoods, their families. Sometimes I wonder if my father remembers that." The vulnerability in his voice catches me off guard. I find myself leaning in, drawn by this unexpected openness. "That must be a lot of pressure," I say softly. Alex meets my gaze, his eyes searching mine. "It is, but enough about work. What's your biggest dream? If money wasn't an issue, what would you do?" I pause, considering. It's a question I've asked myself countless times. "I'd open my own gallery," I admit. "A place for up-and-coming artists to showcase their work. Something to nurture new talent, you know?" Alex nods, a slow smile spreading across his face. "That sounds amazing. I can see it now." the Monica James Gallery, in big fancy letters. I laugh, shaking my head. More like Monica's Misfit Art Emporium. I'd want it to be a little weird, a little unconventional. Even better, Alex grins, raising his glass in a mock toast to future misfits and masterpieces. As the night wears on, I find myself relaxing into the plush cushions of Alex's couch, the warmth of the wine and the crackling fire seeping into my bones. The initial tension between us has melted away, replaced by an easy camaraderie that surprises me. So tell me about your first big sale, Alex prompts, refilling our glasses. Was it as thrilling as you'd imagined? I can't help but laugh. God, no, it was a disaster. His eyebrows shoot up. How so? Picture this, I begin, gesturing with my glass. I'm at this tiny gallery, barely more than a converted garage, my paintings hanging there, looking all official. This guy walks in, spends forever staring at it. I'm trying not to hyperventilate. Alex leans forward, clearly invested. And then, he buys it. I'm over the moon. But as he's carrying it out, he trips. The painting goes flying, lands face down in a puddle. Alex winces. Crap. What did you do? Cried in my car for an hour, then used the money to buy better waterproof varnish. He burst out laughing, the sound rich and genuine. It's infectious. And soon I'm giggling too. That's the spirit, he says, raising his glass in a mock toast to learning experiences and puddle-proof art. As our laughter subsides, a comfortable silence settles over us. I find myself studying Alex's face, noticing the way the firelight softens his features. There's a vulnerability there I hadn't seen before. What about you? I ask softly. Any disasters in your illustrious business career? Alex's smile turns wry. Oh, plenty. But my old man made sure they never saw the light of day. The shift in his tone is subtle, but I catch it. Sounds tough, I venture. He shrugs, but I can see the tension in his shoulders. It's the price of being a Donovan. Perfect face for the public. Keep the mess behind closed doors. I set my glass down, leaning closer. That must be exhausting. You have no idea, he murmurs, meeting my gaze. For a moment I see a flash of the real Alex, not the polished businessman, but the man underneath, carrying the weight of expectations. Is that why you suggested this arrangement? I ask, the question slipping out before I can stop it. Alex is quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is low. Partly, but also, I guess I wanted a chance at something real, even if it's just pretend. The honesty in his words catches me off guard. I feel a surge of empathy, recognizing the loneliness behind his admission. I get that, I say softly. Sometimes it's easier to be yourself with a stranger than with the people who think they know you. Alex's eyes lock with mine, a flicker of understanding passing between us. It's dangerous, this growing connection, but it's also comforting. For just this moment, I allow myself to forget about contracts and arrangements, about the roles we're supposed to play. Instead, I let myself simply be Monica, the artist, sharing a quiet evening with Alex, the man who's becoming more than just a business partner.
Chapter 8. Alex. The ballroom buzzes with laughter and clinking glasses, the air thick with perfume and the scent of expensive champagne. Monica and I weave through the crowd, sharing our fabricated wedding plans with a mix of sincerity and practiced ease. I can't help but admire how naturally she plays along, her hand resting comfortably in mine as we navigate the sea of designer suits and glittering gowns. "We're thinking of a spring wedding," Monica says, her smile almost convincing enough to fool me. Her eyes sparkle with mischief, and I find myself momentarily lost in them. Yeah, cherry blossoms, I add, raising my glass and snapping back to reality. Can't go wrong with those. I take a sip of my drink, the burn of alcohol steadying my nerves. Monica's got quite the eye for aesthetics. She's already sketching out ideas for the centerpieces. As I speak, a ripple of whispers slices through the air, creating a buzz that's impossible to ignore. I glance around, catching snippets of hushed conversations and half-hidden smiles. Faces turn towards the entrance, eyes widening in anticipation, as if the room itself is holding its breath. The atmosphere shifts, charged with an electric expectation, making me wonder what, or who, could command such attention. Victoria. The room's temperature seems to drop 10 degrees as she makes her grand entrance, her gaze locking onto mine like a predator spotting prey. She approaches, her eyes almost wild. "What are you doing here, Victoria?" My voice cuts through the murmurs, laced with irritation. "Well, hello to you too, darling." Her tone drips with sarcasm. "Haven't you missed me? I just wanted to see how my ex-fiancé has been up to, seeing as you've been the talk of the town for weeks now." Monica's grip tightens on my arm. I can almost feel her heartbeat racing through her fingertips. "Don't you have better things to do than crash parties?" I keep my tone steady but firm. Victoria tilts her head, feigning innocence. "Crash? Oh no, Alex. I'm merely here as a guest. It's not my fault you're new. Arrangement has piqued everyone's interest." Monica steps forward, her eyes narrowing slightly. "We're happy you're interested," she says smoothly. "It means we're doing something right." Victoria's eyes flicker to Monica, a hint of disdain creeping into her smile. "Monica, isn't it? I've heard so much about you." She pauses for effect. Though I must say, seeing is believing. "Funny," Monica replies without missing a beat. "I've heard very little about you." A smirk tugs at my lips despite the tension. Monica's got fire, I'll give her that. "Why don't we cut the pleasantries?" I say, stepping between them slightly. "What do you want, Victoria?" She raises an eyebrow. "Straight to business as always, Alex." She glances around at our audience before leaning in closer. "I just wanted to make sure you're not making another mistake." "This is none of your business," I snap back. "Oh, but it is," she insists softly but firmly. "You see, everyone loves a good redemption story, or a scandalous downfall." The tension crackles like static between us as we stand our ground in this standoff of old wounds and new alliances. "I suggest you leave," I say through gritted teeth. Victoria chuckles softly and steps back gracefully. "Or maybe I'll stay for a while. Enjoy a cocktail, sip on some gossip," she says mockingly, before turning on her heel and sauntering towards the bar with an air of victorious retreat. As she walks away, Victoria's words hang in the air like a toxic cloud. The room suddenly hums with conversation. The urge to have her thrown out gnaws at me, but I know that would only add fuel to the fire. Instead, I turn to Monica, whose face is a mask of calm determination. "You okay?" I ask, keeping my voice low. She nods, her eyes never leaving Victoria's retreating form. "I'm fine. But she's trouble, isn't she?" "Like you wouldn't believe," I mutter, downing the rest of my drink. "Come on, let's mingle. Best defense is a good offense." We make our way through the crowd, stopping to chat with various guests. I can feel Victoria's gaze burning into us from across the room, but I refuse to give her the satisfaction of looking her way. "Alex, my boy!" A portly man with a ruddy face approaches us. "And this must be the lovely Monica. I've heard so much about you." "Mr. Bradford," I greet him, shaking his hand. "Monica, this is George Bradford, one of our board members." Monica smiles warmly. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Bradford." "Please call me George," he insists, beaming at her. "I must say, you two make quite the pair. How did you meet?" I open my mouth to recite our rehearsed story, but Victoria's voice cuts through the conversation like a knife. Oh, George, you simply must hear this, she says, sidling up to us with a predatory smile. It's such a unique tale. My jaw clenches. Victoria, I don't think... No, please, Mr. Bradford interrupts, his eyes gleaming with curiosity. I'd love to hear it. Victoria's smile widens. Well, from what I understand, it was quite the whirlwind romance. Isn't that right, Monica? 1 minute you're an unknown aspiring artist, and the next you're engaged to one of the city's most eligible bachelors. It's like a modern-day fairy tale. I can feel Monica tense beside me, but her voice remains steady. Life has a way of surprising you sometimes. Indeed it does, Victoria purrs, though I can't help but wonder. What exactly drew you to Alex? His charm? His success? Or perhaps something else? The implication hangs heavy in the air. I step forward, ready to put an end to this, but Monica beats me to it. Actually, it was his kindness, she says, her voice clear and confident. And his integrity. Those qualities are far more valuable than any material success. I blink, surprised by her words. For a moment, I forget this is all an act. Mr. Bradford nods approvingly. Well said, my dear. You found yourself a keeper, Alex. Victoria's smile falters for a split second before she recovers. How quaint. I do hope you know what you're getting into, Monica. The corporate world can be quite cutthroat. I'm sure I'll manage, Monica replies coolly. After all, I have Alex by my side. I wrap my arm around her waist, pulling her close. And I'm not going anywhere. Victoria's eyes narrow, but before she can respond, I turn to Mr. Bradford. If you'll excuse us, George, I believe they're about to serve dinner. Shall we find our seats, darling? As we walk away, I lean in close to Monica. That was great. She gives me a small smile. Just playing my part. The evening drags on, feeling like an eternity, and Victoria's presence casts a heavy shadow over what should have been a triumphant night for Monica and me. I grit my teeth, trying to focus on Monica, but Victoria's calculated movements keep drawing my attention. She's playing her game, and I can see the effect it's having on Monica, whose smile is becoming more strained by the minute. She flits from group to group like a goddamn social butterfly, her honeyed voice carrying just far enough for us to catch snippets of conversation. Oh, you haven't heard? It's really been a whirlwind affair. Victoria's words slither through the air. Makes you wonder what the rush is all about, doesn't it? I clench my jaw, my fingers tightening around my glass. Monica shifts beside me, her discomfort palpable. Alex, she whispers, maybe we should leave. I shake my head. No, that's exactly what she wants. We can't let her win. But as the night wears on, Victoria's tactics evolve. She corners Monica at the bar, her smile sharp as a knife. You know, darling, she purrs, loud enough for nearby guests to hear, Alex has always had a thing for charitable causes. I'm sure you'll make a lovely pet project. Monica's face pales and I step in, my patience wearing thin. That's enough, Victoria. Oh, come now, Alex. I'm just getting to know your new friend. I grab Monica's hand, leading her away. We're done here. As we retreat to a quiet corner, I can feel the tension radiating off Monica. Her eyes dart around the room, no longer meeting mine. Hey, I say softly. Don't let her get to you. She's just trying to stir up trouble. Monica's laugh is hollow. Is she, though? Or is she just saying what everyone else is thinking? What are you talking about? She gestures around the room. Look at this place, Alex. Look at these people. I don't belong here. And they know it. Hell, I know it. That's not true, I argue, but the words sound weak even to my ears. Isn't it? Monica's voice cracks. Your ex-fiancé is out there telling everyone I'm your charity case, and you know what? She's right. The hurt in her eyes feels like a sharp twist in my chest. Monica, you can't seriously believe that. Why not? We both know this isn't real. We're playing pretend, and Victoria just called our bluff. I run a hand through my hair, frustration building. Look, I know this situation is complicated, but... Complicated? Monica cuts me off. It's a mess, Alex. We're lying to everyone, including ourselves. Her words hang in the air between us, heavy with truth. I want to argue, to reassure her, but the words stick in my throat. I think... Monica takes a deep breath. I think we need to reevaluate this arrangement. The finality in her tone sends a chill through me. What are you saying? She meets my eyes, her gaze steady despite the tears threatening to spill. I'm saying maybe Victoria did us a favor. She showed us how ridiculous this whole thing is. Monica, please. I reach for her hand, but she pulls away. I need some air, she says, turning towards the balcony. I follow Monica onto the balcony, the cool night air a stark contrast to the stifling atmosphere inside. She's gripping the railing, her knuckles white, staring out at the city lights. I approach cautiously, my heart pounding. Monica, wait, I say, reaching for her shoulder. She flinches away and it feels like a slap in the face. Look, I know Victoria's a piece of work, but we can't let her get to us like this. She turns to face me, her eyes glistening. It's not just Victoria, Alex. It's everything. This whole charade. I don't know if I can do it. I step closer, my voice low and urgent. We can't give up now. Think about what we've accomplished already. If we stick together, put up a united front, no one will doubt us. Monica's silent for a moment, and I can see the conflict in her eyes. Alex, No, listen, I press on. We work well together. We've got chemistry, anyone can see that. Why throw away a good thing? She shakes her head, but I can see her resolve wavering. It's not that simple. It can be, I insist. We just need to stay strong. Show them we're in this together. And Monica, think about your mom. Her eyes snap to mine, a mix of emotions flashing across her face. That's not fair. I know, I admit, running a hand through my hair. But it's the truth. This arrangement isn't just about us. It's about securing a future for both of us. For your mom. Monica's silent for a long moment, her gaze drifting back to the city skyline. I can almost see the gears turning in her head, weighing our options. Finally, she turns back to me, a hint of steel in her eyes. Okay, she says softly. You're right. We can't give up now. We can't let Victoria get to us. Relief washes over me, and I nod emphatically. Agreed. From now on, we're a team. United front, all the way. United front, she echoes, a small smile tugging at her lips. I hold out my hand. Partners. She hesitates for just a second before taking it. Partners.
Chapter 9. Monica. The car rolls to a stop, and I grip the edge of my seat, my knuckles white. The Donovan estate looms before us, a sprawling mansion that makes my childhood home look like a shoebox. My stomach churns. I can't believe I'm doing this, I mutter, my voice barely above a whisper. Alex turns to me, his eyes softening. Hey, you've got this. They're just people, same as anyone else. I scoff. Yeah, people who probably eat caviar for breakfast and wipe their asses with $100 bills. He chuckles, shaking his head. Trust me, it's just regular toilet paper, although I can't speak for the caviar. As we step out of the car, the gravel crunches under my heels. I wobble slightly, still not used to these designer shoes Alex insisted I wear. The cool evening air nips at my bare arms, and I resist the urge to hug myself. Ready? Alex asks, offering his arm. I take a deep breath, forcing a smile, as I'll ever be. We approach the grand entrance, and I can't help but gawk at the ornate details adorning the facade. It's like walking into a museum, not someone's home. Before we even climb the steps, the enormous oak doors glide open, almost as if expecting us. Alex strides in effortlessly, not even acknowledging the doorman who stands at attention. I trail behind him, trying to keep up with his confident pace, my heels clicking against the polished marble floor. I step into the mansion and my jaw drops. The entryway alone is bigger than my entire apartment. Crystal chandeliers drip from ceilings so high, I have to crane my neck to see them. The walls are adorned with paintings that probably cost more than I'll make in a lifetime. "Holy Mother," I whisper, forgetting myself for a moment. Alex leans in, his breath warm on my ear. "Impressed?" I snap my mouth shut, embarrassed. "It's something." We walk through corridors lined with antique vases and sculptures. My heels click against the marble floors, echoing in the vast space. I can't help but trail my fingers along the smooth, cool surface of a nearby column. "Don't touch anything," Alex murmurs, gently guiding my hand away. My mother's a stickler for keeping things pristine. I nod, shoving my hands into the pockets of my borrowed designer dress. We pass by a room with floor-to-ceiling windows, overlooking manicured gardens. Another holds a grand piano that gleams under soft lighting. After what feels like an eternity of walking, we finally reach the dining room. It's massive, dominated by a table that could seat 20. At the far end sit two figures, straight-backed and imposing. "You're late," booms a voice from the head of the table. The man's steel gray eyes bore into us, his mouth set in a hard line. Alex clears his throat. "Traffic was hell. Sorry, Dad." He guides me forward, his hand warm on the small of my back. "This is Monica James, my fiancée. Monica, meet my father, Richard Donovan." I extend my hand, hoping it isn't shaking. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Donovan." Richard's grip is firm, almost painful. His gaze sweeps over me, assessing. Charmed. Alex turns to the woman beside Richard. Her silver hair is pulled into an elegant chignon, her posture perfect. "And this is my mother, Evelyn." Evelyn's smile doesn't reach her eyes as she shakes my hand. "Welcome to our home, dear. I do hope you'll find it comfortable." The way she says it makes me feel anything but. I force a smile, my cheeks already aching from the effort. "Thank you for having me. Your home is beautiful." "Well," Richard says, gesturing to the empty chairs. "Shall we begin? The chef's been holding dinner and I despise cold food." As we take our seats, I catch Alex's eye. He gives me a reassuring nod, but I can see the tension in his jaw. This is going to be a long night. The first course arrives. A delicate arrangement of greens and edible flowers that looks more like art than food. I pick up my salad fork, praying I don't use the wrong utensil, and embarrass myself further. Richard's steely gaze locks onto me. "So, Monica, tell us about your family. What do your parents do?" I swallow hard, my mouth suddenly dry. "My father passed away when I was young. My mother, she's retired now due to health issues." "I see," Richard says, his tone cold. "And you? What exactly do you do for a living?" "I'm an artist," I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. "I create mostly abstract art." Richard's eyebrow arches. "An artist? How quaint. And how did you and Alex meet? It seems an unlikely pairing." Alex tenses beside me, but I squeeze his hand under the table. "We actually met at one of my gallery showings. Alex appreciated my work." "Did he now?" Richard's eyes narrow. "And I suppose your financial situation as a budding artist had nothing to do with your interest in my son?" The accusation hangs in the air, sharp and painful. My cheeks burn with humiliation. and I struggle to find words to defend myself. Evelyn clears her throat delicately. Richard, dear, perhaps we should discuss something else. Monica, tell me about your art. What medium do you prefer? I shoot her a grateful look. I work primarily with acrylics and mixed media. I love experimenting with texture and color. How fascinating, Evelyn says, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. We must see some of your work sometime, don't you think, Richard? Richard grunts noncommittally, returning his attention to his plate. The conversation shifts to safer topics, but I can feel Richard's disapproval radiating across the table. Evelyn, while polite, watches me with a calculating gaze that makes me squirm in my seat. I pick at my food, my appetite gone. Alex's hand finds mine again under the table, giving it a reassuring squeeze. I manage a weak smile, but inside, I'm screaming. What have I gotten myself into? I take a deep breath, steadying my nerves as I reach for my wine glass. The crystal feels delicate between my fingers, a stark reminder of how out of place I am in this world of opulence. But I'm determined to make it through this dinner with grace. So, Monica, Evelyn says, her voice dripping with forced politeness, tell us more about your artistic process. It must be quite unconventional. I swallow a sip of wine, buying myself a moment to collect my thoughts. Well, I find inspiration in everyday life. The way light falls on a cityscape or the emotions stirred by a crowded subway car. I try to capture those fleeting moments on canvas. Richard snorts, barely disguising his disdain. And people actually pay for that? I feel Alex tense beside me, but I place a hand on his arm, silently urging him to let me handle this. Art is subjective, Mr. Donovan. Some find value in traditional landscapes, others in abstract expressions of emotion. There's room for all of it. Evelyn nods, her eyes narrowing slightly. How diplomatic of you, dear. I suppose in your line of work, you must be used to justifying your choices. The barb stings, but I maintain my composure. Every career has its challenges. I'm sure you both understand that, given your success in business. Richard's eyebrows raise slightly, a flicker of something, respect maybe, crossing his face before it's quickly replaced by his usual stern expression. As the dinner progresses, I make a conscious effort to engage in the conversation, asking thoughtful questions about the family business and sharing anecdotes from my own experiences. I notice Alex watching me with a mix of admiration and concern, his hand occasionally finding mine under the table. When dessert arrives, an intricately presented creation that's almost too beautiful to eat, I compliment the chef's creativity, noting the meticulous attention to detail. It's a small victory when Evelyn nods in agreement. Throughout the evening, I feel like I'm walking a tightrope, carefully balancing between being true to myself and meeting the Donovans' expectations. It's exhausting, but I refuse to let them see me falter. After the full 4-course meal, Alex clears his throat and pushes back his chair. I'm afraid we'll have to call it a night. Early morning meeting tomorrow. I follow his lead, standing up and smoothing down my dress. Thank you for the lovely meal, Mr. and Mrs. Donovan. It was a pleasure to meet you both. Richard's eyes narrow, his lips curling into a smirk. Yes, well, it's been enlightening. Alex, I trust you'll reconsider some of your recent decisions. Wouldn't want to jeopardize your future over a fleeting distraction. I bite the inside of my cheek, tasting blood. Alex's hand finds the small of my back, a gentle pressure urging me forward. Good night, Dad, Mom, he says, his voice clipped. The walk to the front door feels like a marathon. Each step on the marble floor echoes, a countdown to freedom. When the heavy oak door finally closes behind us, I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. My shoulders slump, the weight of the evening crashing down. The cool night air caresses my face, a stark contrast to the stifling atmosphere inside. Alex turns to me, his eyes soft with admiration. You were incredible in there. I manage a weak smile. That's one word for it. I feel like I just went 10 rounds with a prizefighter. He chuckles, leading me to the waiting car. Trust me, you held your own better than most. The ride home is quiet, the city lights blurring past the window. I lean my head against the cool glass, replaying the evening in my mind. The barely concealed disdain, the loaded questions, the judgment in every glance. It all swirls together in a nauseating cocktail of anxiety and frustration. I can still feel the weight of their stares, hear the condescending lilt in their voices as they picked apart my every word. God, how I wish I could have just disappeared into thin air. My fingers clench involuntarily, and I force myself to take a deep breath, trying to shake off the lingering tension that's settled into my bones. The elevator to Alex's penthouse dings, jolting me back to reality. One night down, countless more to go. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for whatever comes next in this elaborate charade. This is Alex's world, and for now, I have to navigate it. I step out, my heels clicking against the polished marble floor, and I can't help but wonder how long I can keep up this facade.
Chapter 10. Alex. I stride to the bar, my fingers fumbling with the buttons of my shirt. The fabric feels suffocating, a physical reminder of the tension from dinner. Grabbing 2 glasses, I pour a generous amount of whiskey into each. The amber liquid sloshes against the crystal, matching the turbulent emotions churning inside me. Here, I say, handing Monica a glass. Our fingers brush, and I notice her hand trembling slightly. You okay? Monica takes a sip, wincing at the burn. I'm fine. It's just your family. Yeah, I know. They can be a lot. I down half my drink in one go, relishing the warmth spreading through my chest. I'm sorry about my father. He's always been an asshole, Monica interjects, a hint of fire in her eyes. I can't help but chuckle. I was going to say difficult, but your description is far more suitable. Monica's shoulders relax a fraction, and she moves to the couch, curling her legs beneath her. I follow, sitting close enough to feel her warmth but not quite touching. I felt so out of place, she admits, staring into her glass, like I was some kind of imposter. I regret putting her through that. You're not an imposter, Monica. You belong here as much as anyone else. She looks up, her eyes searching mine. Do I? Your father made it pretty clear he doesn't think so. I set my glass down, turning to face her fully. To hell with what my father thinks. This arrangement, it might have started as a business deal, but you're not just some prop. I trail off, realizing I'm not sure how to finish that sentence. Monica raises an eyebrow. I'm what, Alex? The question hangs in the air between us, heavy with unspoken possibilities. I reach for my drink again, buying time to sort through the mess of emotions tangling in my chest. You're someone I'm glad to have in my life, I finally say, the words feeling inadequate but true. Someone who deserves better than being judged by my family's outdated standards. Monica's expression softens and she leans in slightly. Thank you. That means a lot. We sit in silence for a moment, the city lights twinkling beyond the windows. I find myself hyper-aware of every small movement Monica makes, the way her fingers trace the rim of her glass, the soft rise and fall of her chest as she breathes. I take a deep breath, the whiskey's warmth spreading through my chest. Look, Monica, I'm sorry about tonight. It wasn't fair to you. Monica's fingers tighten around her glass. It's not your fault, Alex. I knew what I was getting into with this arrangement. Did you? I lean forward, elbows on my knees. Because I'm not sure I did. This whole thing, It's more complicated than I thought it'd be. She meets my gaze, her eyes searching. What do you mean? I run a hand through my hair, struggling to find the right words. I don't know. It's just seeing you with my family tonight. It made me realize how much I've been living someone else's life. Your father's life, Monica says softly. Yeah. I nod, surprised by her insight. Ever since I can remember, it's been all about the company, about living up to his expectations. I trail off, the admission sticking in my throat. Monica shifts closer, her knee brushing against mine. You've never what, Alex? I've never really thought about what I want. The words come out in a rush. It's always been about what's expected of me, what's best for the company. And now, with this arrangement, I'm dragging you into that mess too. Monica's eyes soften and she leans back into the couch, cradling her glass. I get it, Alex. Believe me, I do. Sometimes it feels like I've been treading water my whole life, just trying to keep my head above the surface. I take another sip of whiskey, letting the burn distract me from the tightness in my chest. Yeah? How so? She sighs, her fingers tracing patterns on the glass. It's been tough. Ever since my dad passed, it's just been me and my mom. And when she got sick... Her voice trails off, and I resist the urge to reach out and touch her hand. That must have been hard, I say, cursing myself for the inadequacy of the words. Monica nods, her eyes distant. It is. I've been working 3 jobs trying to make ends meet, and to pay for her treatments. And my art. She laughs, but it's a hollow sound. Well, let's just say it's taken a back seat. I'm sorry, Monica. I had no idea it was that bad. She shrugs, trying to play it off. It's life, right? You deal with what you're given. Still, that's a lot to handle on your own. Monica's eyes meet mine, and for a moment, I see a flash of vulnerability there. Yeah, well, what choice do I have? It's not like I can just walk away from my responsibilities. The words slam into me, leaving a sharp ache. Isn't that exactly what I've been considering? Walking away from my family, the company, everything I've ever known. It's like she's voicing the thoughts I've been too scared to admit, even to myself. The weight of expectations, the constant pressure, it's suffocating. But hearing it from her, someone who's shouldering so much more, makes my own struggles feel almost trivial. Still, the idea of breaking free lingers, tempting and terrifying all at once. Jesus, Monica. I run a hand through my hair, suddenly feeling like the world's biggest asshole. And here I am, whining about my family drama. She shakes her head, a sad smile playing on her lips. It's not a competition, Alex. Your struggles are valid too. Maybe, but they seem pretty trivial compared to yours. I take another swig of whiskey, letting the burn distract me from the guilt gnawing at my insides. I've been so caught up in my own problems, I didn't even stop to think about what this arrangement really means for you. Monica shifts, tucking her legs under her. What do you mean? I turn to face her, really look at her. The soft light from the lamp catches the flecks of gold in her eyes, and for a moment, I'm struck by how beautiful she is. Not just physically, but in her strength, her resilience. This whole thing, it's not just about me anymore, it's about us. Both of us. The words tumble out before I can stop them. You're not just some prop in my life, Monica. You're so much more than that. Her eyes widen slightly, and I can see the surprise there. Alex. No, let me finish. I set my glass down, needing both hands free to gesture as I speak. This arrangement, it's not just an escape for me anymore. It's a chance for both of us to get what we need. You get the financial stability to take care of your mom and pursue your art. And I trail off, suddenly unsure. What do I get out of this? Freedom from my father's expectations? A way out of the life I've been sleepwalking through? Or something else entirely? Monica leans forward, her hand tentatively reaching out to touch my arm. What do you get, Alex? The warmth of her touch sends a jolt through me. I look into her eyes, seeing the same vulnerability I feel mirrored there. I get to be with someone real, I say softly. Someone who sees me for who I am, not what I represent or bring to the company. Someone who challenges me to be better and lets me the real me. Monica's breath catches, and for a moment we're both frozen, the air between us charged with possibility. Is that what you want? She whispers. I nod, unable to look away from her. Yeah, I think it is. I hold Monica's gaze, the world around us fading into a blur. Her eyes, warm and resolute, reflect a determination that matches my own. In this moment, something shifts between us. The pretense of our arrangement falls away, revealing a deeper, more genuine connection. The weight of our shared burdens, my family's expectations, her financial struggles, seems to lighten. We're no longer two individuals trapped in our own prisons, but allies united against the forces that have held us back. Monica's hand still rests on my arm, her touch grounding me in this newfound reality. I offer a small nod, a silent acknowledgement of our unspoken pact. We don't need words to understand what's happening. This arrangement, born out of desperation and convenience, has transformed into something more meaningful. It's a chance for both of us to break free from the chains of our past, to rewrite our futures on our own terms. The tension in Monica's shoulders eases, and I feel my own muscles relax in response. The air between us, once charged with uncertainty, now hums with a quiet confidence. We're in this together, for better or worse.
Chapter 11. Monica. I'm sketching out a new piece when Alex pokes his head into my bedroom. The scent of fresh paint mingles with the aroma of his cologne. Hey, I'm heading to the office, he says, then pauses. His eyes scan the room, taking in the chaos of my makeshift studio. Canvases line the walls, and every surface is covered with brushes, paints, and half-finished projects. No, this won't do, Alex mutters, his hand on his chin. His brow furrows as he surveys my cluttered room. You need a dedicated space. I set down my pencil, a little taken aback by his sudden interest in my working conditions. What? No, it's fine. I'm used to working like this. I gesture around at the organized chaos of my bedroom-turned studio. It might look messy to an outsider, but I know where everything is. But Alex is already shaking his head, his jaw set in that stubborn way I'm starting to recognize. Nonsense. An artist of your caliber deserves a proper studio. His eyes meet mine, and there's a determination there that makes my stomach do a little flip. You can't keep cramming all this talent into such a tiny space. It's like trying to contain a wildfire in a matchbox. Before I can protest further, he's on his phone, talking rapidly about renovations and contractors. I try to interject, but he waves me off with a smile. For days I watch as professionals come and go, carrying building materials and equipment. The spare room at the end of the hall becomes a hub of activity. The constant hammering and drilling set my nerves on edge. Alex, this is too much, I say one evening, cornering him in the kitchen. I appreciate the thought, but don't worry, he cuts me off, his tone reassuring. We're just moving things around. I bite my lip, unconvinced. The scale of work I've observed suggests otherwise. This is far more than just moving things around. It's a complete overhaul. A total transformation of the space. Alex's casual attitude also doesn't mask his quiet commitment to this project. I can't help but see that he's meticulously selecting the decorations and pieces to match my artistic style. Alex, with his usual precision, is carefully choosing each item as if he's curating an art gallery. It's almost as if he knows exactly what I'd pick myself, down to the tiniest detail. As I wander through the penthouse, I catch snippets of Alex's conversation with the interior decorator. His voice drifts from the spare room, low and intense. No. The lighting needs to be adjustable. Monica works with various mediums. She'll need flexibility. I pause, my hand on the doorframe, listening. And make sure there's plenty of storage for her supplies. Custom shelving, maybe. Something that can accommodate canvases of different sizes. My heart thumps against my ribs. He's put so much thought into this. The color palette? Let's go with something neutral but warm. We want to inspire, not overwhelm. I can't help but smile. He's speaking my language, even if he doesn't realize it. I feel bad that he's putting in so much effort. Yet, this kind of attention, being noticed in this way, warms me in a way I can't describe. The clinking of cutlery against plates fills the air as Alex and I eat dinner. I can't help but notice the way his eyes keep darting towards me, a barely contained excitement dancing in them. His leg bounces under the table, and he keeps fidgeting with his napkin. Something's up. I finished the last bite of my meal and set down my fork. All right, spill it. What's got you so worked up? Alex's face breaks into a grin. He practically leaps from his chair, nearly knocking it over in his haste. Come on, it's time to finally show you. He grabs my hand, pulling me to my feet. His palm is warm against mine, and I can feel his pulse racing. Alex, slow down. I laugh, stumbling a bit as he leads me down the hallway. You'll love it, he says, his voice brimming with anticipation. Trust me. We stop in front of the door to the spare room, or what used to be the spare room. Alex positions himself in front of me, blocking my view. Okay, close your eyes, he instructs. I raise an eyebrow. Seriously? Humor me, he insists, his tone playful but firm. With an exaggerated sigh, I comply. Fine, they're closed. Happy? I hear the door open and Alex's hand on my back gently guides me forward. The air feels different here. Fresher somehow. All right, Alex says, his voice soft and close to my ear. Open them. I blink my eyes open, and for a moment, I can't process what I'm seeing. The room has been completely transformed. Easels of various sizes stand at attention. Like soldiers ready for duty, waiting for their canvases. Shelves line the walls, brimming with neatly organized art supplies, each item in its rightful place. A large work table dominates the center of the room, its surface pristine and inviting, begging to be covered in sketches and splashes of color. Alex, I breathe, taking a step forward. This is... He moves to stand beside me, his eyes searching my face. Your new studio. Your own space to create. I turn in a slow circle, taking it all in. The lighting is perfect, adjustable to suit any project I can dream up. There's even a small sitting area in the corner, complete with a cozy-looking armchair, and a little table for my coffee or sketchbook. I can already picture myself curled up there, brainstorming my next masterpiece. I don't know what to say, I murmur, overwhelmed by the thoughtfulness of the gesture. Alex shrugs, trying to play it cool, but I can see the nervousness in his eyes. Do you like it? I turn to face him, emotion welling up in my chest. Like it? Alex, I love it. It's incredible. Go on then, Alex prompts. Have a look around. I step further into the space, my fingers trailing over the smooth surface of a beautifully crafted mahogany desk. The wood gleams under the soft lighting, its rich color complementing the warm, neutral tones of the walls. This desk is gorgeous, I murmur. admiring the intricate carvings along its edges. Alex grins, clearly pleased. It's handcrafted by a local artisan. I thought you'd appreciate the craftsmanship. I move to the easels, each one a different size and style. I look back at him, surprised at this level of detail. How'd you know to get these? Well, I did my research, Alex says, a hint of pride in his voice. Those easels can be adjusted to any angle, perfect for whatever medium you're working with. I notice a state-of-the-art storage system along one wall, filled with drawers and cubbies of various sizes. Alex steps closer, his hand brushing my arm as he reaches to open a drawer. Custom storage, see? Each drawer is lined with archival quality material to protect your work. The thoughtfulness of it all hits me like a wave. I turn to face him, overwhelmed. Alex, I don't even know what to say. He shrugs, but I can see the satisfaction in his eyes. You don't have to say anything. Just use it. Create something amazing. I walk over to the window, taking in the view. The natural light streams in, perfect for painting. I shake my head in disbelief. I can't believe you put so much thought into this. It's perfect. Alex's expression softens. You deserve a space that matches your talent, Monica. I just wanted to give you that. I stand in the middle of my new studio, surrounded by the thoughtful details Alex has put into every corner. A warmth spreads through my chest, unexpected and unfamiliar. I've been so focused on our arrangement, on maintaining boundaries, that I've failed to see the man behind the mask. This studio isn't just a room. It's a testament to Alex's attention and care. Alex's kindness catches me off guard. This isn't just a gift. It's a validation of my passion, my dreams. He's created a sanctuary for my creativity, a place where I can truly be myself. The realization sends a warmth spreading through my chest, a feeling I quickly try to suppress. I shouldn't be feeling this way. This is a business arrangement, nothing more. But as I look around at the perfectly organized art supplies, the adjustable lighting, and the cozy reading nook, I can't deny the flutter in my stomach. Alex has seen me, truly seen me, in a way few others have. My gaze lands on a half-finished canvas, propped against the wall. Without thinking, I grab it and place it on one of the new easels. The act feels natural, like this space has always been mine. Want to see what I'm working on? I ask, grabbing Alex by the hand excitedly. I lead him to an easel where a half-finished canvas sits. Bold strokes of red and gold dance across the surface, hinting at a fiery landscape. It's not much yet, but it's incredible, Alex interrupts, leaning in close to examine the painting. His shoulder brushes against mine, and I'm suddenly hyper-aware of his presence. I swallow hard, trying to focus on the art and not on the warmth radiating from his body. It's about transformation, the fire consuming the old, making way for something new. Alex turns to look at me, his eyes intense. Sounds familiar. The air between us crackles with unspoken tension. I clear my throat, stepping back slightly. Yeah, well, sometimes life imitates art, right? He nods, a small smile playing on his lips. Or maybe it's the other way around. I move to another canvas, this one covered in shades of blue and silver. This one's still in the early stages, but I'm thinking of calling it Midnight Reflections. Alex follows, his gaze moving between me and the artwork. It's beautiful, like looking into a dream. His words send a shiver down my spine. I've never had someone look at my art quite like this before, with such genuine interest and appreciation. It's intoxicating. Thank you, I whisper, meeting his eyes. For everything. Alex reaches out, his hand hovering near mine for a moment, before he lets it fall back to his side. You're welcome, Monica. The air in the studio feels charged, alive with possibility. I know I should step back, maintain the professional distance we agreed upon, but standing here surrounded by my art and Alex's kindness, I can't help but feel something shift between us.
Chapter 12. Alex. The wine from dinner lingers on my tongue, but it's not just the alcohol making my head spin. As Monica explores her new studio, a warmth spreads through my chest. Her eyes light up with each discovery, and I find myself transfixed. She runs her fingers along the edge of a pristine easel, and I imagine those same fingers tracing my jawline. Where did that come from? I shake my head, trying to clear the thought, but it persists. Monica turns to me, her smile radiant. Alex, I don't know what to say. Her gaze locks with mine, and for a moment I forget how to breathe. There's something in her eyes, a depth I hadn't noticed before. I feel as though she's gazing past the carefully constructed facade I've maintained for years, directly into my core. My hands itch to reach out and pull her close. The urge is so strong it takes every ounce of self-control to remain rooted to the spot. I watch as she moves around the room, her movements graceful and fluid. The curve of her neck, the sway of her hips. How have I not noticed these details before? She picks up a brush, twirling it between her fingers, and I'm mesmerized. The simple action is oddly sensual, and I have to look away for a moment to compose myself. You okay? She asks, and I realize I've been quiet for too long. I clear my throat. Yeah, just glad you like it. Monica sets down the brush and approaches me. My heart rate kicks up a notch with each step she takes. She's close now, close enough that I can smell the faint scent of her perfume mixed with the lingering aroma of wine. Thank you, she says softly. This means more than you know. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. The air between us feels charged, electric. I'm acutely aware of every inch of space separating us, and of how easy it would be to close that gap. I can't. This arrangement, this fake marriage, it has rules, lines we can't cross. Even if every fiber of my being is screaming to do just that. Suddenly, Monica's hand slips into mine, jolting me from my thoughts. Her touch sends a spark through my entire body, and I have to stifle a gasp. Come, I want to show you something, she says, tugging me towards one of her canvases. I follow, mesmerized by the warmth of her hand in mine. She starts explaining her process, gesturing with her free hand at the swirls of color on the canvas. But I can't focus on her words. All I can think about is how perfectly her hand fits in mine, how soft her skin feels against my calloused palm. And then I layer the colors to create depth, Monica's saying. But her voice sounds distant, muffled by the pounding of my heart in my ears. I can't take it anymore. Slowly, deliberately, I lift our joined hands. Monica's words trail off as I turn her hand over, exposing her wrist. My thumb traces lazy circles on her skin, feeling her pulse quicken beneath my touch. Alex? Her voice is barely a whisper. What are you doing? I don't answer. Instead, I let my fingers trail up her arm, savoring the goosebumps that rise in their wake. Monica shivers but doesn't pull away. Her eyes, wide and questioning, lock onto mine. The words stick in my throat. How can I explain what I'm feeling when I barely understand it myself? This wasn't part of our arrangement. This wasn't supposed to happen. Monica takes a shaky breath. We shouldn't. I know, I murmur, but I can't bring myself to stop. My hand continues its journey up her arm, coming to rest on her shoulder. The tension between us is palpable, electric. The painting, Monica says weakly, gesturing towards the canvas. I was telling you about the painting. I give a slight nod, feeling unable to trust my voice. My eyes flick to her lips, then back to her eyes. She notices, her breath catching. Alex, she whispers, a warning and a plea all at once. I know I should step back, should remember our agreement, our rules. But standing here with Monica so close, those rules seem meaningless. All I can think about is closing the distance between us, about finding out if her lips are as soft as they look. I lean in, planting a soft, tentative kiss, tasting Monica's lips for the first time. As I pull back slightly, her eyes flutter open, a mix of surprise and desire swirling in their depths. The lack of protest, the way her body leans into mine, it's all the encouragement I need. I capture her lips again, this time with more fervor. My hands find her waist, pulling her closer as the kiss deepens. Monica responds with equal passion, her fingers tangling in my hair. A longing gasp escapes her lips, the sound sending a jolt of electricity through my body. Our hands begin to explore, mapping out new territory with eager touches. "Alex," Monica breathes against my lips. "This is a bad idea." "Do you want me to stop?" I ask, my voice husky with desire. She shakes her head, her fingers tracing the line of my jaw. "God, no." I trail kisses down her neck, reveling in the soft sounds she makes. My hands roam her back, feeling the curve of her spine through her thin shirt. Monica's hands slip under my shirt, her cool fingers leaving trails of fire on my skin. I groan, pressing her against the nearest wall. "This isn't part of our arrangement," she murmurs, even as her hands continue their exploration. I pull back slightly, meeting her gaze. "Screw the arrangement." A slow smile spreads across her face. "Yeah?" "Yeah," I nod, my thumb tracing her bottom lip. "I want you, Monica. I need you." Her eyes darken with desire. "Then take me." I don't need to be told twice. In one swift motion, I lift her, feeling her legs wrapping around my waist. Every step heightens the electricity between us, her fingers tangling in my hair as her lips crash into mine. We stumble down the hall towards my bedroom, the sound of our heavy breathing filling the air around us. In my bedroom, I prop her onto the bed before quickly undoing the buttons of my shirt. I watch as Monica's eyes widen, her cheeks flushing red with desire. She moves closer, her eyes locked onto mine as she reaches up slowly and begins unfastening the last few buttons of my shirt. As it falls open, she gasps softly, trailing her fingers over my abs and chest. Looks like we've hit a scene that's just too fiery for YouTube. For the uncut, unabridged version, visit TylaWalker.com and enter code SAVE40 for a scorching deal. Let's dive back into the story. You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy,
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
and you might got the money,
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
but that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance. Chapter 13. Monica. The days following our first night together passed in a haze of stolen glances and lingering touches. Alex and I dance around each other, neither of us willing to acknowledge the shift in our relationship. It's easier to pretend, to chalk it up to maintaining our cover. One morning, I'm in the kitchen, pouring myself a cup of coffee, when Alex walks in, his hair still mussed from sleep. He reaches around me for a mug, his chest brushing against my back. I freeze, my heart racing. "Morning," he murmurs, his breath warm against my ear. I turn, finding myself trapped between him and the counter. "Morning," I reply, my voice barely above a whisper. For a moment we stand there, neither moving. Then, as if remembering himself, Alex steps back, clearing his throat. "Big day ahead?" I nod, taking a sip of my coffee to hide my flushed face. "Yeah, I've got some commissions to work on." "Don't work too hard," he says with a wink, grabbing his mug and heading out. I watch him go, my mind replaying the feeling of his body against mine. "Get it together, Monica," I mutter to myself. "It's just an act, remember?" Later that week, we attend a charity gala. Alex's hand rests on the small of my back as we mingle with the crowd. I lean into him, playing the part of the doting wife. "You're a natural at this," he whispers as we pose for photos. I laugh, tilting my head up to look at him. What can I say? I'm a quick study. Our eyes lock, and for a moment the world around us fades away. It's just us standing there, lost in each other's gaze. The camera flashes bring us back to reality, and we quickly look away. Back at the penthouse, I pace in my room, trying to make sense of my feelings. It's not real, I remind myself. You're just getting caught up in the fantasy. But even as I say the words, I know they're not entirely true. There's something between us, something that goes beyond our agreement. I sink onto the bed, running my hands through my hair. "This is fine," I mutter. "It's actually better this way. We don't have to fake it as much. It's convenient." The word leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Is that all this is? Convenience? I shake my head, pushing the thought away. It's just making the best of the situation, I tell myself firmly. Nothing more, nothing less. But as I lay in bed that night, Alex's laughter echoing in my mind, I can't help but wonder if I'm only fooling myself. For now, I'll let myself enjoy this blissful bubble we've created, pretending that the outside world and our looming deadline don't exist. I hum softly as I organize my new art supplies, still marveling at the thoughtfulness of Alex's gift. The studio is a dream come true, and I can't wait to start creating in this space. As I sort through a stack of papers on the desk, my fingers brush against something that feels out of place. Curious, I pull it out. My heart stops. It's a document with my father's company logo at the top. What the hell? I scan the contents, my hands trembling more with each passing second. Words jump out at me like daggers. Hostile takeover, liquidation, Donovan Corporation. The room spins as the pieces click into place, my mind racing to connect the dots. How could my father's company be involved with Alex's family? "No," I whisper, sinking into the chair. "It can't be." But it is. The proof is right here in black and white. Alex's father's company was responsible for destroying my family's business, the very business my father had poured his heart and soul into for years. The loss crushed him, sending him into a downward spiral that led to his declining health and eventually his death. Bile rises in my throat. I stumble to the bathroom, barely making it in time. As I retch into the toilet, my mind races. Did Alex know? Has this all been some sick joke? I stumble back to the studio, my legs shaking like a newborn colt's. The document crumples in my fist as I collapse onto the plush chair Alex so thoughtfully picked out for me. The irony makes me want to scream. My eyes scan the room, taking in every detail of this beautiful prison. The easels, the paints, the brushes, all of it feels tainted now. Each item represents a lie, a carefully constructed facade hiding an ugly truth. My stomach churns as memories flood back. Dad's defeated face when he announced the company's closure. Mom's tears as we packed up our family home. The constant stress and worry that plagued us for years afterward. All of it traces back to the Donovans. And Alex, God, Alex, my chest constricts painfully as I think of him. His gentle touches, his kind words, the way he looks at me like I'm something precious. Was it all just part of some twisted game, a way to assuage his guilt? No, I refuse to believe that. The Alex I've come to know, the real Alex, not the polished businessman. He couldn't be capable of such cruelty. Could he? But then how much do I really know about him? About his family? About the ruthless world of corporate takeovers he inhabits? I stand abruptly, pacing the room like a caged animal. My reflection catches my eye in the mirror, and I barely recognize the woman staring back at me. She looks lost, betrayed, her eyes wild with hurt and confusion. Anger surges through me, hot and fierce. I want to destroy this perfect room, to tear down the paintings and shatter the mirrors, to make the outside match the chaos I feel inside. I storm into the living room, my heart pounding like a jackhammer against my ribcage. Alex is on the phone, his voice low and serious. The moment he sees me, his eyes widen, and he abruptly ends the call. "I'll have to call you back," he says, tossing the phone aside. He stands, concern etched across his face. "Monica, what's going on?" He reaches for me, his hands grasping my arms gently. The touch that once sent shivers down my spine now feels like fire, burning me with betrayal. I jerk away, putting distance between us. "Don't touch me," I spit out, my voice trembling with rage and hurt. "How could you?" Confusion clouds his features. "What are you talking about?" I shove the crumpled document at him, my hand shaking. "This, your family destroyed mine. Did you know? Was this all some sick joke to you?" Alex's face pales as he scans the paper. "Monica, don't." I cut him off, my voice rising. "Don't you dare try to explain this away. Your father's company crushed my dad's business. It killed him, Alex. Do you understand that? It killed him." Tears burn in my eyes, but I refuse to let them fall. I won't give him the satisfaction. "All this time," I continue, gesturing wildly around the penthouse, "I've been living in luxury, bought with my family's suffering. God, I feel sick." Alex's eyes widen as he scans the document, his face draining of color. He looks up at me, his expression a mix of shock, disbelief, and something else, maybe guilt. For a moment, he just stands there, speechless, like he's been sucker punched. "Hell," he mutters, running a hand through his hair. "Monica, I swear I had no idea about this." I scoff, crossing my arms. "You expect me to believe that?" "It's the truth," he insists. Taking a step towards me, I back away, maintaining the distance between us. "I know how it looks, but I promise you, I knew nothing about this." "How convenient," I spit out, my voice dripping with sarcasm. The heir to the Donovan empire, completely in the dark about his daddy's dirty dealings. Alex's jaw clenches. "It's not like that. My father, he keeps a lot of things from me, especially the uglier side of the business." "Oh, poor little rich boy," I sneer, anger coursing through my veins. "Do you have any idea what your family's actions did to mine? My father lost everything. He died thinking he was a failure." Alex's face crumples. "Monica, I'm so sorry. I can't even begin to imagine." "You're right, you can't." I cut him off. "You have no idea what it's like to watch your family fall apart, to see your father waste away from grief and shame." "You're right," Alex says softly. "I don't know what that's like, but I want to make this right." I laugh bitterly. "Make it right? How exactly do you plan to do that? You can't bring my father back. You can't undo years of suffering. I know I can't, Alex admits, his voice thick with emotion. But I can take responsibility for what my family has done. I shake my head, tears burning in my eyes. It's too late for that. The damage is already done. It's never too late to do the right thing, Alex argues, his eyes pleading with me. Please, Monica, let me try to fix this. For a moment I waver, the sincerity in his voice, the pain in his eyes. It all seems so genuine. But then I remember my father's broken expression, my mother's tears, and my resolve hardens. I need some air, I mutter, turning away from him. I can't be here right now. As I head for the door, Alex calls out, Monica, wait. I reach for the doorknob, my hand trembling. The cool metal grounds me, reminding me this isn't some awful nightmare. It's real, all of it. Monica, wait! Alex's voice cracks with desperation. Please, just hear me out. I pause, my fingers still wrapped around the handle. Every instinct screams at me to run, to put as much distance between myself and this betrayal as possible. But something in his tone makes me hesitate. Why should I ask, not turning around. Give me one good reason. Because I care about you, he says softly. More than I ever thought possible. I scoff, but the words hit me like a punch to the gut. That's rich coming from you. I know it sounds hollow right now, but it's the truth. He takes a deep breath. Look, I can't undo what's been done, but I swear to you, I'll deal with my father. I'll make this right. I turn to face him, crossing my arms. And how exactly do you plan to do that? I don't know yet, he admits, but I won't rest until I figure it out. Just don't be hasty. Don't throw away everything we've built. Built on lies, I spit out. No, he says firmly. Built on respect, on trust, on... He trails off, but the unspoken word hangs heavy between us. If you leave now, he continues, I won't be able to help you or your mother anymore. The reminder of my mom sends a fresh wave of pain through me. God, how am I going to explain this to her? That's low, Alex, I mutter. I'm not trying to manipulate you, he insists. But if our plan is ruined, so are you and I. Please, Monica, give me a chance to fix this, to prove myself to you. I study his face, searching for any sign of deception. But all I see is raw, honest anguish. It makes my resolve waver. I need time, I finally say, to think, to process all of this. Alex nods, relief washing over his features. Of course. Take all the time you need. I'll be here when you're ready to talk. I turn back to the door, my hand on the knob once more, but this time I don't open it, not yet. I'm not making any promises, I warn him. I know, he says softly, but I'll do whatever it takes to earn back your trust. I promise you that. I stand there, my hand on the doorknob, Alex's words echoing in my mind. The sincerity in his voice tugs at something deep inside me, but the hurt and betrayal still burn hot in my chest. My mind races. A whirlwind of conflicting thoughts and emotions. Mom's face flashes before my eyes, pale and drawn from her latest round of treatments. The stack of unpaid medical bills on our kitchen counter. The constant gnawing fear of losing our home. And then there's Alex. The gentle touch of his hand on the small of my back. The late-night conversations where we've shared our hopes, our fears, our dreams. God, what am I doing? Am I making the biggest mistake of my life by staying here? Or would leaving and cutting ties be even worse, a moment of weakness I'd regret forever? I close my eyes, taking deep breaths to calm my racing heart. One thing at a time, Monica. One step at a time.
Chapter 14. Alex. I storm into my father's office, the document clutched in my hand like a weapon. The mahogany door slams against the wall, startling both my parents, who are huddled over some paperwork. "What the hell is this?" I demand, slapping the document onto my father's desk. My father's eyes narrow as he scans the paper. "Where did you get this?" "That's not important. What matters is what it says. Do you know what you did?" He leans back in his chair, his face a mask of calm. "Alex, you need to understand." "Understand what? That our family destroyed Monica's? That we're responsible for her struggles?" My mother steps forward, her perfectly manicured hand resting on my father's shoulder. "Alex, dear, please calm down. Let's discuss this rationally." I laugh, a harsh sound that echoes in the opulent office. Rationally? There's nothing rational about ruining someone's life. My father stands, his imposing figure casting a shadow across the desk. "How dare you accuse me? I don't know what that woman has been whispering in your ear, boy. But I did no such thing." "I don't believe you. If you didn't do this, then who did?" I spit out, my hands clenching into fists at my sides. The room falls silent. My mother's eyes dart between my father and me, her lips pressed into a thin line. Then, unexpectedly, she speaks. "It was me." I whirl to face her, disbelief etched on my face. "What?" She takes a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "I made the decision. Your father knew nothing about it." "Evelyn," my father starts, but she cuts him off with a wave of her hand. "No, Richard. It's time he knew." She turns to me, her eyes pleading. "I did what I thought was necessary to secure your father's success, to ensure our family's future. The Jameses' business was a threat, and I took steps to neutralize it." The world tilts on its axis. My mother, always the picture of grace and propriety, admitting to such underhanded tactics. It's almost laughable. "You're telling me you single-handedly orchestrated the downfall of an entire family's livelihood?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. She nods, her eyes never leaving mine. "I did what I thought was best for our family." "Best for our family?" I echo, incredulity coloring my tone. "Do you have any idea what you've done? The pain you've caused?" I stare at my parents, my blood boiling. The room suddenly feels too small, too suffocating. My father's dismissive wave only fuels my anger. "Come now, Alex. This is how business works," he says, leaning back in his chair. "Sometimes you have to make tough decisions for the greater good." "The greater good?" I spit out. "Whose greater good? Certainly not Monica's family's." My mother steps forward, her face a mask of calm. "Darling, you have to understand. We were protecting our interests, our legacy. Your legacy. By destroying someone else's?" I shake my head, disgust rising in my throat. "You've got to be freaking kidding me." "Watch your language," my father warns, his eyes narrowing. "We've given you everything, Alex. This company, your position, your future. Don't throw it away over some misplaced sense of guilt." I laugh, a harsh, bitter sound. "Misplaced? You ruined innocent people's lives." "They were hardly innocent," my mother interjects. "They were our competition. In this world, it's eat or be eaten." The casual cruelty in her voice makes my stomach turn. I look between them, these strangers wearing my parents' faces. "Do you even hear yourselves? You're talking about real people, not just numbers on a spreadsheet." My father stands, his imposing figure looming over the desk. "Enough. What's done is done. You need to decide where your loyalties lie, son, with this family or with some girl you barely know." The ultimatum hangs in the air, heavy and suffocating. I clench my fists, my nails digging into my palms. "You're asking me to choose between my integrity and my position?" "I'm telling you to be smart," he counters, "to think about your future, about everything we've built for you. I back away, shaking my head. You're unbelievable. The both of you. Without waiting for a response, I turn and storm out of the office. The hallway stretches before me, portraits of Donovan's past staring down with judgmental eyes. Each step feels like a crossroads, a choice between the life I've always known and the person I want to be. As I burst through the front doors, the cool night air hits my face. I gulp it down, trying to clear my head. My footsteps echo on the pavement as I make my way to my car, each step feeling heavier than the last. The weight of the decision presses down on me, threatening to crush me under its enormity. As I slide into the driver's seat, my hands grip the steering wheel, knuckles turning white. The leather creaks under my grasp, a physical manifestation of the tension coursing through my body. I start the engine, the low purr doing little to calm my racing thoughts. The city lights blur past as I drive, barely registering the familiar route back to my penthouse. My mind replays the conversation with my parents on an endless loop, their words echoing in my head. The casual cruelty, the dismissive attitude towards the lives they've ruined. It makes my stomach churn. Years of hard work flash before my eyes. Late nights at the office, sacrificed weekends, relationships put on hold, all in pursuit of the CEO position. It's been my singular focus for so long, the driving force behind every decision I've made. The thought of throwing it all away sends a jolt of panic through me. But then Monica's face swims into view. Her warm smile, her passionate dedication to her art, her unwavering loyalty to her family. The pain in her eyes when she confronted me with the truth about her family's downfall. Can I really choose my career over her? Over what's right? My father's words echo in my mind. You need to decide where your loyalties lie. The ultimatum hangs over me like a guillotine, ready to drop at any moment. On one side, the life I've always known. Wealth, power, prestige. On the other, a chance at redemption, at being the man I've always wanted to be. As I pull into the parking garage of my building, I realize I'm no closer to a decision. The two sides of my conscience wage war, each presenting compelling arguments. The ambitious businessman in me argues for self-preservation, for protecting everything I've worked for. But the part of me that's grown to care for Monica, that values integrity and justice, pushes back with equal force. I have to do what's right for me, I murmur, searching for clarity in the words, hoping they'll solidify into something real. I wake up early, my heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and determination. The weight of my decision presses down on me, but I know it's the right thing to do. I glance at the clock. 6:30 a.m. Perfect timing. I slip out of bed and pad down the hallway to Monica's room, my knuckles wrapped gently against her door. Monica, you up? A muffled groan answers me. I crack the door open, peering into the dim room. Monica's tousled head emerges from beneath the covers, her eyes squinting against the light from the hallway. What do you want, Alex? Come on. There's something you need to see. What? I'm not falling for any more of your family's lies. Please. I know it's hard to trust me right now, but this is important. She grumbles, trailing behind me to the living room, her footsteps dragging and stretching the distance between us. I guide her to the couch and turn on the TV, flipping to the business news channel. Monica blinks at the screen, confusion etched on her face. Why are we watching stock reports at the crack of dawn? Just wait, I say, my stomach churning with nervous anticipation. The anchor's voice drones on about market fluctuations until suddenly, my face fills the screen. Monica's eyes widen, her mouth falling open as she listens to my recorded statement. On screen, I speak clearly and firmly. I, Alexander Donovan, heir to Donovan Enterprises, am here to expose the unethical practices that have been carried out by my family's company. Monica's hand finds mine, squeezing tightly as I detail the manipulations and underhanded tactics, including those that led to her family's financial ruin. With every new revelation, her grip tightens, her eyes glued to the screen, absorbing every word. I can feel her anger and disbelief through her touch, but she doesn't look away. She stays right there with me, silently supporting me, even as I reveal the darkest sides of my family's business. As the segment ends, Monica turns to me, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Alex, you gave up everything." I shrug, trying to appear nonchalant despite the turmoil in my gut. "Not everything, just the parts that weren't worth keeping." She shakes her head, a mix of awe and disbelief on her face. "But your future, your position in the company. Some things are more important than power or money," I say, meeting her gaze. "Like integrity, like doing what's right." Monica's breath catches. She opens her mouth to speak, but no words come out. Instead, she leans forward, pressing her lips to mine in a kiss that says more than words ever could. As we break apart, I can't help but smile. The road ahead is uncertain, but for the first time in my life, I feel truly free. Whatever comes next, I know I've made the right choice.
Chapter 15. Monica. I stand there, frozen, my mind struggling to process what just happened. Alex, the man I thought I knew, has thrown away everything: his career, his family's trust, his entire future. All for what? For me? The realization hits me like a tidal wave, leaving me breathless. My lips part, but the words catch in my throat. I want to say something, anything, but my voice fails me. Alex's eyes lock onto mine, intense and unwavering. He takes a step closer, and I can feel the heat radiating from his body. "Monica," he says, his voice low and husky. "I know this is crazy, but I couldn't keep living a lie, not when I realized what really matters." My heart pounds against my ribcage. "Alex, But before I can finish, he leans down, closing the distance between us. His lips meet mine, soft yet urgent, saying more than words ever could. The kiss is electric, sending shivers down my spine. I melt into him, my hands finding their way to his chest. When we finally break apart, both slightly out of breath, I look up at him. "You gave it all up," I whisper, still in disbelief. Alex cups my face gently. "No, I gained everything that matters. Monica, I've fallen in love with you. This isn't just an arrangement anymore. It hasn't been for a long time." My breath catches. "I love you too, Alex. God, I've been fighting it, but I can't anymore." He grins, that arrogant smile I've grown to adore. "Then don't fight it. Let's end this charade and start something real." "What do you say?" I laugh, a mix of joy and relief washing over me. "I say yes. 1,000 times yes." Alex pulls me close, his strong arms wrapping around me. "Good, because I wasn't planning on letting you go." Alex's lips crash into mine, igniting a fire that's been smoldering for far too long. I match his intensity, my fingers tangling in his hair as I pull him closer. The world fades away, leaving only us and the electric current running between our bodies. In one swift motion, Alex lifts me, and I wrap my legs around his waist. We stumble towards the sofa, a tangle of limbs and heated kisses. My back hits the cushions, and Alex is there, his body pressing against mine in all the right places. "You're overdressed," I murmur, tugging at his shirt. Alex smirks, sitting back on his heels to pull it off. "Better?" My eyes roam over his chiseled chest and I bite my lip. "Much." His hands find the hem of my blouse, his fingers skimming my skin as he slowly pushes it up. "Your turn," he says, his eyes dark with want. Our lovers are getting a little too intense for YouTube, but don't worry. The full, uncensored version awaits you at tylawalker.com. Use code SAVE40 to save big on the complete, heart-racing adventure. Back to the action. That was incredible, I whispered, turning around to face him. We lay there, catching our breath and basking in the afterglow of our passionate encounter. As I look into his eyes, a spark of something deeper ignites between us. And I know this is just the beginning of our journey. There's a whole world of possibilities ahead, and I'm ready to face them all with Alex by my side.
You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF Audio Bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla.
Chapter 16. Alex. I stand tall, my jaw set as I face my father across the polished expanse of the boardroom table. The air crackles with tension, thick enough to choke on. Richard Donovan's face is a mask of disbelief and barely contained fury. You're making a big mistake, he warns, his voice low and dangerous. I meet his gaze, unflinching. The mistake would be continuing the legacy of your atrocities, I respond, my tone steady despite the storm of emotions raging inside me. Without another word, I turn on my heel and stride out of the boardroom. The heavy door closes behind me with a satisfying thud, cutting off whatever retort my father might have had. In the hallway, whispers and curious glances follow me as I make my way to my office. The news of my resignation has spread like wildfire. I can practically feel the weight of their stares on my back. Alex! A familiar voice calls out. I turn to see Sarah, my assistant, hurrying towards me. Is it true? Are you really leaving? I nod, offering her a small smile. It's time for a change, Sarah. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Her eyes widen. But what about... I'll be fine, I interrupt gently. Change isn't always easy, but it's necessary. I wish you the best of luck. As I continue down the corridor, I overhear snippets of conversation. Can you believe it? Alex Donovan walking away from everything? I heard he's gone mad, throwing it all away for some girl. I clench my fists, resisting the urge to turn and set the record straight. Let them talk. They don't understand, and they don't need to. In my office, I begin the process of packing up my personal belongings. Each item I place in the box feels like shedding a layer of my old life. Photos, awards, mementos, all reminders of a path I'm no longer willing to walk. A knock at the door interrupts my thoughts. It's James, one of the board members and an old family friend. Alex, my boy, he says, his voice a mix of concern and disappointment. Are you sure about this? There's still time to reconsider. I pause, a framed photo of my father and me at a company gala in my hands. I set it face down in the box. I've never been more sure of anything in my life, James. He sighs, running a hand through his graying hair. Your father built this company from the ground up. It's your legacy. A legacy built on lies and the suffering of others, I retort, my voice sharp. I won't be a part of that anymore. James shakes his head, a look of resignation on his face. I hope you know what you're doing, Alex. The business world can be unforgiving. As he turns to leave, I call out, "James." He pauses at the door. "Thank you for your concern, but this is the right thing to do." With a final nod, he's gone, leaving me alone with my thoughts and a box full of memories I'm not sure I want to keep. I step into the penthouse, the weight of the day's events settling on my shoulders. Monica's there, her eyes full of concern and questions. We need to talk, and we both know it. "Let's sit," I say, gesturing to the couch. As we settle in, I take a deep breath. "We're going to have to move out of here." Monica's eyebrows shoot up. "What? Why?" "I can't turn my back on my old life and still enjoy its spoils," I explain, running a hand through my hair. "It wouldn't be right. But don't worry. I've got money put away and other investments. I wasn't next in line to be CEO for nothing." She nods slowly, processing. "Okay, so what's next? Are you going to try to find another job?" I shake my head, a smile tugging at my lips. "No, actually. I was thinking about what you told me, the dream you always envisioned for yourself." Monica leans forward, intrigued. "Go on." "What if we combined our skills? Your artistic talent, my business acumen. We could create something meaningful, something that gives back to the community." Her eyes light up. "Like a community art center?" "Exactly." I nod, feeling a surge of excitement. A place where people can learn, create, and express themselves. We could offer classes, host exhibitions, maybe even set up a scholarship program for aspiring artists. Monica jumps up, pacing as ideas pour out. "We could have workshops for different mediums: painting, sculpture, digital art. Oh, and maybe a space for local artists to sell their work." I stand, caught up in her enthusiasm. "And we could partner with schools, bring in guest artists for lectures." "Alex, it's perfect," Monica says, her voice soft with wonder. She stops pacing and turns to me, eyes shining. "But are you sure? This is a huge change from corporate life." I step closer, taking her hands in mine. "I've never been more sure of anything. This feels right, Monica. It aligns with our values, our passions. Plus," I add with a grin, "I get to work alongside the most talented artist I know." She laughs, a sound that makes my heart skip. "Flattery will get you everywhere, Mr. Donovan." "That's the idea, Miss James," I tease back, pulling her close. "So, what do you say? Partners in art and life?" Monica's answer is a kiss that tells me everything I need to know. As we break apart, she whispers, "Let's do this." I lean back in my chair, rubbing my temples as I stare at the cluttered whiteboard in front of us. Monica paces the room, her energy palpable as she scribbles down ideas on a notepad. "Okay, let's recap," I say, sitting up straighter. "We've got the mission statement nailed down: empowering the community through accessible art education and expression." Monica nods enthusiastically. "It's perfect. Now, about the layout." "Hold up," I interject, raising a hand. "Before we get into the nitty-gritty, we need to talk funding. I've got some capital to invest, but we'll need more." She stops pacing, her brow furrowing. "Right. Any ideas?" I tap my pen against the desk, thinking. "We could start with a crowdfunding campaign. It'd be a great way to gauge community interest, too." "Ooh, I like that," Monica says, her eyes lighting up. "We could offer rewards tied to the center, like exclusive classes or limited edition prints." "Smart thinking," I grin. "We should also look into local business sponsorships. I've got some contacts who might be interested in supporting a community project." Monica plops down in the chair next to me, her leg bouncing with excitement. "This is really happening, isn't it?" I reach out and squeeze her hand. "It sure is. Now about that layout you were itching to discuss." She jumps up again, grabbing a marker. "Picture this," she says, drawing on the whiteboard. "A large open studio space here, with movable partitions for flexibility. Over here, smaller rooms for specialized classes and workshops." I nod, following her vision. We'll need office space too, and a gallery area for exhibitions. Oh, and a small cafe, Monica adds, her marker squeaking as she draws. It'll encourage people to stick around, maybe spark some artistic conversations. I love it, I say, standing to get a closer look at her sketch. But we need to consider accessibility. Wide doorways, ramps where necessary. Monica's face softens. You're right. Art should be for everyone. We spend the next hour refining the layout, our ideas bouncing off each other like paint splatters on a canvas. As we work, I can't help but marvel at how in sync we are, how our different strengths complement each other perfectly. All right, I say, glancing at my watch. We've got a meeting with the realtor in an hour to look at potential locations. Ready to make this dream a reality? Monica grins, tossing the marker onto the desk. Been ready. As we gather our things, I pause, struck by a thought. You know, we're going to need a killer name for this place. Monica's eyes twinkle mischievously. How about the Starving Artist's Buffet? I burst out laughing. Perfect. Nothing says come create like the promise of metaphorical sustenance. She playfully swats my arm. All right, Mr. Comedian. We'll work on it. Now come on. We've got an art center to build. I stand at the entrance of our newly minted community art center, my heart racing with a mix of excitement and nerves. The buzz of the gathering crowd filters through the closed doors, a tangible reminder of the magnitude of what we're about to unveil. Monica appears beside me, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Ready to change some lives? She asks, giving my hand a squeeze. I take a deep breath, savoring the scent of fresh paint and possibility. As ready as I'll ever be. You? She grins, a mischievous glint in her eye. Ready to knock their socks off. With a nod, I push open the doors and we step out onto the small stage we've set up for the occasion. The chatter dies down as all eyes turn to us, a sea of expectant faces stretching out before us. I clear my throat, tapping the microphone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alex Donovan, and this is Monica James. We'd like to welcome you to the grand opening of Art and Soul. A smattering of applause ripples through the crowd. I catch sight of a few familiar faces, local business owners, art enthusiasts, even a couple of my old colleagues from the corporate world. Their presence both reassures and unnerves me. Monica steps forward, her voice clear and confident. Art and Soul isn't just an art center. It's a dream come to life, a place where creativity knows no bounds, and everyone is an artist waiting to be discovered. As she speaks, I can't help but marvel at how far we've come. From a hastily scribbled idea on a whiteboard to this moment, it's surreal. We've got classes for every skill level, I chime in, gesturing to the various rooms visible from our vantage point. From finger painting for the little ones to advanced sculpture techniques for the seasoned pros. A hand shoots up in the crowd. It's Mrs. Gonzalez, owner of the local bakery. Will there be any programs for seniors? My arthritis acts up, but I've always wanted to try watercolors. Monica's face lights up. Absolutely! We have adaptive art classes designed specifically for those with physical limitations. Art is for everyone, no exceptions. The crowd murmurs approvingly. I feel a weight lifting off my shoulders. They're getting it. They understand what we're trying to do here. And let's not forget our state-of-the-art gallery space, I add, pointing to the far end of the building. We'll be showcasing local talent, giving artists a platform to share their work with the community. As if on cue, a young woman pipes up. How do we submit our work for consideration? Great question, Monica responds. We'll have an open submission process, details of which are available on our website, and in the brochures we'll be handing out shortly. I scan the crowd, noticing a mix of excitement and curiosity on their faces. It's working. We're connecting with them. Now, I say, clapping my hands together, who's ready to see what Art and Soul is all about? The response is immediate and enthusiastic. As Monica and I step down to lead the first tour, I catch her eye, The look we share is one of triumph, relief, and unbridled joy. This is just the beginning, but already, it feels like home. I can't help but feel a surge of pride as I see the sparkle in Monica's eyes. We've worked so hard to get here, and now, standing on the cusp of something incredible, it just feels right. Chapter 17. Alex. I wave goodbye to the last of our staff, watching them disappear into the cool night air. The door clicks shut, leaving Monica and me alone in the suddenly quiet gallery. The silence feels charged, electric almost. Well, that was one hell of a show, I say, turning to Monica with a grin. She beams back at me, her eyes sparkling with pride. I still can't believe we pulled it off. Did you see Mrs. Henderson's face when she saw her granddaughter's painting on display? I thought she was going to faint from joy, I chuckle, grabbing a broom. Come on, let's get this place cleaned up. We move through the rooms, picking up stray cups and streamers. As we work, we chat about the night's successes, the laughter of our visitors still echoing in my mind. I can't believe how packed it was, I say, tossing a crumpled napkin into the trash. Monica nods, her eyes scanning the floor for more debris. Yeah, and everyone seemed to genuinely enjoy themselves, she replies, a satisfied smile tugging at her lips. As we work, the night's successes keep replaying in my mind. You know, Monica says, dumping a handful of confetti into a trash bag. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually enjoying the cleanup. It feels, I don't know, satisfying. I nod, understanding exactly what she means. It's like putting the final touches on a masterpiece. Speaking of which, how about we check on your gallery next? We make our way to the room housing Monica's artwork. As we step inside, the lights suddenly flicker off, plunging us into darkness. Alex? Monica's voice is tinged with surprise. What's going on? I don't answer immediately. Instead, I flick a switch, and soft, warm lights illuminate the room, casting a gentle glow on Monica's paintings. Alex, what is this? She asks, her eyes wide as she takes in the transformed space. I take a deep breath, my heart pounding. This is it, the moment I've been planning for weeks. Monica, I begin, my voice surprisingly steady despite my nerves. When we first met, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted in life. Success, power, my father's approval. But you turned my world upside down. I step closer to her, taking her hands in mine. You showed me what really matters. Integrity, passion, love. You made me want to be a better man. Monica's eyes glisten in the soft light. Alex, I press a finger gently to her lips. Let me finish, please. This isn't part of our arrangement. This isn't about deals or contracts or expectations. This is about us. About how much I love you. How I can't imagine my life without you. I drop to one knee, pulling out a small velvet box from my pocket. Monica gasps as I open it, revealing a simple yet elegant diamond ring. Monica James, will you marry me? For real this time? Monica's eyes widen, a mix of shock and joy dancing across her face. For a split second, my heart stops, the weight of the moment hanging in the air between us. Yes, she cries, her voice breaking with emotion. Of course, I'll marry you, Alex. Before I can react, she launches herself at me, her arms wrapping around my neck. The force of her embrace sends us both tumbling to the floor, rolling amidst the scattered confetti and streamers. We land with a soft thud, Monica on top of me, both of us breathless and laughing. The cool hardwood floor presses against my back, but I barely notice it. All I can focus on is Monica's radiant smile, her hair falling in a curtain around us, creating our own little world. You know, I say, reaching up to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, this wasn't exactly how I planned it. Monica grins, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Oh, and how did you plan it, Mr. Donovan? I chuckle, my hands finding their way to her waist. Well, for starters, I thought we'd both be vertical. She laughs, the sound echoing through the empty gallery. It's a sound I never want to stop hearing. Vertical is overrated, she quips, leaning down to plant a soft kiss on my lips. As we lay there, tangled up in each other and surrounded by the remnants of our celebration, a profound sense of rightness washes over me. This moment, this feeling, it's everything I've ever wanted, even when I didn't know it. The laughter bubbling up from my chest is real, unrestrained. It's not the polite chuckle I've perfected for business meetings or the forced mirth at family gatherings. This is pure, unadulterated joy. And Monica, God, Monica. Her eyes crinkle at the corners as she laughs, her whole face alight with happiness. It's a far cry from the guarded, skeptical woman I first met. She's open now, vulnerable in the best way possible. I think about the journey that brought us here, the fake engagement, the conflicts, the revelations. Every step, every challenge led us to this moment. And I wouldn't change a thing. This is what life should be. Not the hollow pursuit of power or the endless chase for approval. It's about finding someone who makes you want to be better, who challenges you and supports you in equal measure. As I look up at Monica, her face flushed with happiness, I know I've found my real purpose. This is the life I want to build, with her, for us. I sit across from Monica at our kitchen island, a sea of bridal magazines and venue brochures spread out between us. The morning sun streams through the windows, casting a warm glow on her face as she flips through pages, her brow furrowed in concentration. "What about this one?" she asks, sliding a glossy pamphlet towards me. It's a renovated barn just outside the city. Rustic chic, they call it. I lean in, studying the images of exposed wooden beams and twinkling fairy lights. It's nice, but... I trail off, not quite sure how to express my hesitation. Monica picks up on it immediately. "But what? Come on, spill it, Donovan." I can't help but chuckle at her persistence. It's just... Don't you think it's a bit cliché? I mean, how many Pinterest weddings have we seen in barns? She rolls her eyes, but I catch the hint of a smile. Fair point. So, what's your grand vision then, Mr. Anti-Cliché? I lean back in my chair, drumming my fingers on the countertop. What if we did something completely unexpected? Like, at the gallery? Monica's eyes light up, and I know I've struck gold. The gallery. That's actually brilliant. It's meaningful, unique, and we could showcase some local artist work during the reception. Exactly, I nod, warming to the idea. We could set up the ceremony in the main hall with your paintings as a backdrop. Then for the reception, we could use the smaller rooms for different food stations, a bar, maybe even a little dance floor. Monica's already scribbling notes, her artist's mind clearly visualizing the space. Oh, and we could use easels instead of traditional centerpieces, with small paintings or sketches for each table. I reach across the island, taking her hand in mine. See, this is why we're perfect together. You take my half-baked ideas and turn them into masterpieces. She squeezes my hand, her eyes meeting mine. It's not half-baked at all, Alex. It's perfect. It's us. We spend the next hour brainstorming ideas, our excitement building with each new detail we add to our plan. As we talk, I can't help but marvel at how far we've come. From a business arrangement to this, planning a wedding that truly reflects who we are as a couple. I lean back in my chair, stretching my arms above my head. All right, let's tackle this guest list. Who's first on your must-have list? Monica taps her pen against her notepad. Well, obviously Samantha. She's been my rock through everything. Agreed, I nod, jotting down the name. And we can't forget about Jake. He's the one who dragged me to your gallery opening in the first place. Monica chuckles. True. We owe him big time for that. We continue like this, names flowing easily between us. It's a stark contrast to the stuffy, politically motivated guest lists I've been forced to create in the past. This feels right. "What about your parents?" Monica asks hesitantly, her eyes searching my face. I pause, considering. I don't know. Part of me wants to extend the olive branch, but you're worried they'll cause drama, Monica finishes for me. Exactly, I sigh. What do you think? Monica reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. I think it's your call. But remember, this day is about us. We should surround ourselves with people who support our relationship, who understand our journey. Her words resonate with me. You're right. Let's leave them off for now. We can always reconsider later if things change. As we continue compiling names, a warmth spreads through my chest. Each person on this list represents a piece of our story, a supporter of our unconventional romance. I can picture the scene, our friends and chosen family in the gallery, the place that united us now witnessing our union. Monica's artwork will surround us, symbolizing our journey. The thought of exchanging vows amidst her creations makes my heart race. This guest list is more than names. It's a reflection of the life and community we've built. Each person represents moments that have shaped us, seeing us at our best and worst, watching us grow.
Chapter 18. Monica. I'm in the middle of discussing a new art program with Erica, one of our staff members at Art and Soul, when my phone buzzes. Samantha's name flashes on the screen. Hey, Sam, what's up? I answer, excusing myself from Erica with an apologetic smile. Monica, you haven't seen the news? Sam's voice crackles through the speaker, high-pitched and frantic. My stomach drops. What news? I think you should go look. The urgency in her tone fills me with dread. Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks for the heads up. I hang up and pull up a news app on my phone. The headlines hit me like a sledgehammer. Donovan heirs secret marriage contract exposed. Sion. Art gallery owner buys bride. The truth behind Monica James. Struggling artist sells herself to save dying mother. My vision blurs. The phone slips from my hand, clattering to the floor. The world around me fades away, replaced by a deafening silence. I can't move, can't speak, can't even breathe. Suddenly, the gallery door bursts open. Alex storms in, his face a mask of fury and concern. The sound snaps me back to reality. Alex, what's happening? My voice comes out as a strangled whisper. He reaches me in 3 long strides, grasping my shoulders. Monica, I'm so sorry. I just found out. It's Victoria. She leaked everything. Everything? The word tastes bitter on my tongue. Alex nods grimly. The contract? Your financial situation, your mother's medical bills. She twisted it all, made it look like I'm a gold digger who sold herself. I finish, the reality of the situation sinking in. We'll fix this, Alex says, his jaw clenched. I swear we'll make it right. But as I look into his eyes, I see the same fear and uncertainty I feel. Our carefully constructed world is crumbling around us, and I'm not sure if we can stop it. The gallery's peaceful atmosphere shatters as a cacophony of shouts and camera clicks erupts outside. My heart races, and I grab Alex's arm instinctively. The flashing lights and chaos beyond the doors seem to close in on us, threatening to expose every vulnerability. They're here, I whisper, my voice barely audible over the growing commotion. Alex's jaw clenches. We need to leave, now. We rush to gather our things, but the noise outside intensifies. Voices overlap, demanding answers, hurling accusations. I catch snippets that make my stomach churn. Miss James, is it true you sold yourself to save your mother? Mr. Donovan, Did you buy a wife to secure your position? Alex takes my hand, his grip firm and reassuring. Ready? I nod, steeling myself. We push open the gallery doors, and chaos descends. Microphones push into our faces. Camera flashes blind me. Bodies press in from all sides, a suffocating wall of curiosity and judgment. No comment, Alex repeats, his voice a low growl as he guides me through the crowd. Questions fly like arrows, each one striking a raw nerve. Monica, did you know about the Donovan's involvement in your family's bankruptcy? I stumble, the words cutting deep. Alex's arm wraps around my waist, steadying me. Keep moving, he murmurs in my ear. Don't engage. We push forward, inch by agonizing inch. The car seems miles away, a sanctuary just out of reach. A reporter shoves her mic in my face. How does it feel to be exposed as a gold digger? Something in me snaps. I whirl around, ready to unleash years of pent-up frustration and pain, but Alex's hand on my shoulder stops me. Not here, he says, his eyes locked on mine. They're not worth it. Finally, we reach the car. Alex practically shoves me inside before jumping in himself. The driver peels away from the curb, leaving the media frenzy behind. In the back seat, I collapse against Alex, my body trembling. He holds me close, his heartbeat as erratic as mine. The drive home passes in a blur. We stumble into our apartment, the door slamming shut behind us like a prison gate. I sink onto the couch, my legs giving out. The adrenaline fades, leaving me hollow and numb. Alex, I croak, looking up at him. His face is a mask of concern and anger. What do we do? He runs a hand through his hair, pacing. I don't know, Mon. I don't know. I pace the living room, my fingers twisting the hem of my shirt. The weight of the world presses down on my shoulders, threatening to crush me. Alex watches me, his brow furrowed with concern. Mon, we need to face this head on, he says, his voice steady. Hiding won't make it go away. I stop, turning to face him. I know, but how? The whole world thinks I'm some kind of gold-digging opportunist. Alex stands, crossing the room to take my hands in his. We tell them the truth, all of it. Even the parts that make us look bad? He nods, his jaw set. Especially those parts. We own our mistakes, show them how we've grown. I take a deep breath, steadying myself. Okay, let's do it. We spend the next few hours crafting our statement, agonizing over every word. When we're done, Alex makes the call to set up a press conference. The next day, we stand before a sea of cameras and microphones. My heart hammers in my chest, but Alex's hand in mine anchors me. Thank you all for coming. Alex begins, his voice calm and clear. We're here to address the recent allegations about our relationship. I step forward, swallowing hard. Yes, it's true that Alex and I initially entered into a contract marriage. I was desperate to save my mother's life, and Alex needed to secure his position in his family's company. Alex squeezes my hand, grounding me. But what started as a business arrangement became something real. We fell in love, despite our best efforts not to, he says, his voice steady and sincere. I take a deep breath and step in. That's why Alex left his family's company, I say, feeling the weight of our decision. He chose me, chose us, over his inheritance and his family's expectations. It wasn't an easy choice, but it was the right one. A reporter calls out, "But how can we believe this isn't just another act?" Alex's eyes flash. Because I walked away from everything, my family, my career, my entire life. For her. For us. I look up at him, my heart swelling. In that moment, I forget about the cameras, the reporters, the whole world watching. It's just us. We're not perfect, I say, turning back to the crowd. We made mistakes, but we're building something real together. Our community art center, Art and Soul, is just the beginning. Alex nods. We're committed to using our platform to give back, to create opportunities for artists who are struggling like Monica once was. As we field questions from the reporters, I feel a weight lifting from my shoulders. We're facing this together. No more secrets, no more lies. The days following our press conference blur together in a whirlwind of media scrutiny and public opinion. Alex and I stand shoulder to shoulder, facing each new challenge head on. His unwavering support becomes my anchor in the storm. We decide to take control of the narrative. Instead of hiding from the press, we invite them into our lives. We give interviews, sharing the genuine story of our relationship's evolution. The Art Center becomes our stage, where we showcase not just our love for each other, but our passion for creating opportunities for struggling artists. Victoria's attempts to undermine us backfire spectacularly. Her vindictive actions only serve to highlight the strength of our bond. When she tries to crash one of our charity events, Alex calmly but firmly escorts her out, his composure in stark contrast to her hysteria. The tide of public opinion begins to shift. People start to see beyond the scandalous headlines, recognizing the authenticity of our relationship. Our dedication to each other and to our community speaks louder than any rumor or accusation. One evening, as we're closing up the art center, Alex pulls me into a tight embrace. I feel the tension in his muscles slowly release as he holds me. We've weathered the storm together and come out stronger for it. We did it, I whisper against his chest, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. He pulls back slightly, cupping my face in his hands. His eyes, filled with love and determination, meet mine. We're just getting started, Mon. And I know he's right. This is just the beginning of our journey together. A journey built on trust, love, and a shared vision for the future. Victoria and her schemes fade into insignificance, unable to touch the life we're building together. We've faced down every obstacle thrown our way, and now the horizon looks clear and bright. We're not just surviving, we're thriving. Every whispered word, every shared dream brings us closer. I feel a deep sense of gratitude for the bond we've forged, one that no amount of malice can break. As I look into Alex's eyes, I see our future unfolding, full of promise and possibilities. Chapter 19. Monica. I'm arranging paint supplies on the shelves in the storage room, the scent of acrylics and turpentine filling my nostrils. The quiet hum of the air conditioning is the only sound breaking the late-night silence. Suddenly, the door bursts open, startling me. A paintbrush clatters to the floor. "Jesus, Alex, you scared the crap out of me," I exclaim, my heart racing. Alex rushes in, his eyes wide with excitement. "Monica, look!" He shoves his phone in front of my face, his fingers trembling slightly. I squint at the bright screen, trying to focus on the headlines flashing before me. My jaw drops as I read. Art and Soul, a love story for the ages. From scandal to success, the Donovan James redemption. I read aloud, my voice barely above a whisper. Alex scrolls through more articles, each one more positive than the last. It's everywhere, Mon. They're praising us, our relationship, the gallery, everything. I grab the phone, my eyes darting from one headline to another. "Holy crap," I breathe. "Is this real?" Alex's laugh echoes through the small room. "As real as it gets, babe. We did it. We freaking did it." I look up at him, a grin spreading across my face. No more defamatory bull. No more paparazzi camping outside our door. "Looks like they've found a new story to chase," Alex says, his eyes twinkling. "Turns out, People love a good redemption arc. I throw my arms around his neck, nearly knocking him off balance. He steadies himself, wrapping his arms around my waist and lifting me off the ground. We weathered the storm. I murmur into his neck, inhaling his familiar scent. Alex sets me down gently, his hands cupping my face. We did more than weather it, Mon. We turned it into something beautiful. I lean into his touch, feeling the warmth of his hands against my cheeks. I can't believe it's finally over. Oh, it's far from over, Alex says, a mischievous glint in his eye. This is just the beginning. Think of all the good press we can use for the gallery now. I laugh, shaking my head. Always the businessman, aren't you? Hey, old habits die hard, he shrugs, grinning. But seriously, Mon, we've got a real shot at making art and soul everything we dreamed it could be. I nod, feeling a surge of excitement coursing through me. You're right. This changes everything. Alex pulls me close again, his forehead resting against mine. We make a pretty good team, you know that? The best, I agree, tilting my chin up to meet his lips in a soft kiss. As our lips lock in a passionate kiss, my heart races with anticipation. Alex's hands roam over my body, tracing the outline of my curves and making my skin tingle with desire. I break the kiss, breathless, and glance at the open door. We should probably close that, I whisper, nodding towards it. Alex grins mischievously. Why? Afraid someone might catch us? He trails kisses down my neck, making me shiver. Alex, I warn. But there's no real heat behind it. My body is already responding to his touch, craving more. He chuckles against my skin. All right. He reluctantly pulls away and strides to the door, closing it with a soft click. As he turns back to me, his eyes dark with desire, I feel a familiar warmth pooling in my belly. We've come so far, fought so hard for this moment. The realization hits me like a tidal wave, and suddenly, I can't hold back anymore. I grab his shirt and pull him close to me, my lips crashing into his in a fervent kiss. Our tongues play against each other, like a synchronized dance, each movement fluid and effortless as they met and tangled together in a passionate duet. Well, it looks like we've reached a part of the story that's just too hot for YouTube. But don't worry, you can unlock the uncut, steamy details over at TylaWalker.com. Use code SAVE40 for a special discount on the thrilling conclusion. Now, back to the adventure. I think we have some cleaning up to do. Alex laughs softly, brushing my hair away from my face. I love the cleanup part, I joke, reminiscing about the night we got engaged. While we gather our scattered clothing and various items from the ground, I can't stop grinning. It's funny how life works out sometimes. Our path to this moment was anything but straightforward, full of twists and turns that neither of us saw coming. But now, sharing this mess and this life with Alex is all the bliss I could ever desire. I glance over at him, his focused expression softening when he catches me watching. He winks, and my heart does a little flip.
This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
Can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie Bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
Big Baddie Bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to tylawalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 20. Monica. I can't believe I'm actually going to be Mrs. Donovan. Officially, I whisper to Alex as the officiant prepares for the ceremony. Alex squeezes my hand, his eyes twinkling with mischief. Second thoughts, I could always arrange another business proposal if you prefer. I playfully swat his arm. Don't you dare. I'm exactly where I want to be. The Art and Soul Gallery, our pride and joy, serves as the perfect backdrop for our intimate wedding. Paintings line the walls, each one a testament to our journey together. The afternoon sunlight streams through the skylights, casting a warm glow over our gathered loved ones. My mom, seated in the front row, catches my eye and gives me a tearful smile. I feel a lump form in my throat, remembering all the struggles we've overcome to reach this moment. "You okay?" Alex murmurs, his thumb tracing soothing circles on my hand. I nod, blinking back tears. Just overwhelmed, in the best way possible. The officiant clears his throat, drawing our attention. Shall we begin? Alex and I turn to face each other, hands clasped. The room falls silent, save for the soft rustle of clothing and the occasional sniffle. Friends and family, the officiant begins. We are gathered here today to celebrate the union of Monica James and Alexander Donovan. As he continues, I find myself lost in Alex's gaze. The man before me is a far cry from the guarded businessman I first met. His eyes, once clouded with doubt and familial pressure, now shine with unbridled love and certainty. I believe the couple has prepared their own vows, the officiant announces, stepping back. Alex takes a deep breath, his grip on my hands tightening slightly. Monica, when I first proposed this arrangement, I thought I was solving a problem. Little did I know, I was embarking on the greatest adventure of my life. You've taught me the true meaning of integrity, passion, and love. I promise to stand by you, support your dreams, and love you fiercely for all the days of our lives. Tears prick at my eyes as I begin my own vows. Alex, you came into my life like a whirlwind, turning everything upside down. But in that chaos, I found my center. You've shown me that love isn't just about grand gestures, but about the quiet moments of understanding and support. I promise to be your partner in all things, to challenge you when you need it, and to love you unconditionally. As the officiant pronounces us husband and wife, Alex cups my face in his hands and kisses me with a tenderness that makes my knees weak. Our guests erupt in applause, but I barely hear them over the thundering of my own heart. I love you, Mrs. Donovan, Alex whispers against my lips. I grin, my fingers tracing the lapels of his suit. I love you too, Mr. James. He chuckles, pressing his forehead to mine. I see what you did there. We turn to face our guests, hands intertwined. My mom approaches, tears streaming down her face. Oh, sweetheart, she says, pulling me into a tight embrace. I'm so happy for you. I hug her back, careful not to crush the delicate corsage pinned to her dress, a miniature version of my bridal bouquet. Thanks, Mom, for everything. She turns to Alex, her expression softening. Welcome to the family, Alex. Officially this time. Alex's smile is genuine as he hugs her. Thank you. I couldn't ask for a better mother-in-law. As we mingle with our guests, I overhear snippets of conversation that warm my heart. Did you see the painting behind the altar? Samantha, my best friend, asks another guest. It's the exact spot where Alex proposed. Monica painted it from memory. Nearby, Alex's college roommate claps him on the back. Never thought I'd see the day, Donovan, but damn if you two aren't perfect for each other. We make our way to the small stage where our string quartet is set up. Alex takes the microphone, his hand never leaving mine. Monica and I want to thank you all for being here, he begins. Each of you has played a crucial role in our story, whether you know it or not. I squeeze his hand, encouraging him to continue. This gallery, Alex gestures around us, represents more than just our shared passion for art. It's a symbol of new beginnings, of choosing love over expectations, and of finding beauty in unexpected places. His words resonate through the room, and I see several guests dabbing at their eyes. So, Alex raises his glass. Here's to new beginnings, to choosing our own path, and to a love that transforms everything it touches. As our guests echo the toast, I look up at Alex, overwhelmed by the depth of emotion I see in his eyes. In this moment, surrounded by art and love, I know that our story is just beginning. The back gallery of art and soul transforms into an intimate reception space, the air buzzing with laughter and the clink of champagne glasses. Alex's hand rests on the small of my back as we weave through our guests, the warmth of his touch a constant reminder of our newly official union. There's the happy couple, Samantha calls out, raising her glass. How does it feel to be hitched for real this time? I grin, leaning into Alex's side. Honestly, it feels like coming home. Alex plants a quick kiss on my temple. Couldn't have said it better myself. The string quartet strikes up a slow melody, and Alex turns to me with a mischievous glint in his eye. Mrs. Donovan, may I have this dance? You may, Mr. Donovan, I tease back, letting him lead me to the makeshift dance floor. As we sway to the music, I catch snippets of conversation around us. My mom chatting animatedly with Alex's college roommate about her latest knitting project. Samantha debating the merits of various painting techniques with one of our gallery's regular patrons. Penny for your thoughts, Alex murmurs, his breath warm against my ear. I smile up at him. Just thinking about how perfect this is. All these people from different parts of our lives coming together. The music shifts to a livelier tune, and soon the dance floor fills with our friends and family. I spot my mom attempting to teach Alex's friend Jake a complicated line dance, both of them laughing as they stumble through the steps. Now there's something I never thought I'd see, Alex comments, following my gaze. I squeeze his hand. Miracles do happen, babe. As the night wears on, we're pulled into various conversations and impromptu photo sessions. The joy in the room is palpable, a stark contrast to the tension that marked the beginning of our journey. Time for the toasts, Samantha announces, tapping her glass with a spoon. Alex's best man, Jake, steps up first. When Alex told me he was getting married, I thought he'd lost his mind. Then I met Monica, and I realized he'd finally found it. Laughter ripples through the crowd, and I feel my cheeks warm at the sentiment. Samantha takes her turn next. Monica, you've always been the most stubborn, passionate person I know. It took someone equally stubborn and passionate to match you. Here's to a lifetime of beautiful chaos. As the toasts continue, I lean into Alex, overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support. He wraps an arm around me, his presence a steady anchor. You okay? He whispers. I nod, blinking back happy tears. More than okay, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. As the reception winds down, Alex and I slip away to a quiet corner of the gallery. The soft glow of the string lights casts a warm ambiance over the room, and the faint echoes of laughter from our remaining guests create a comforting backdrop. So, Alex murmurs, his arms encircling my waist, how does it feel to be a married woman? I lean into his embrace, savoring the solid warmth of his chest against my back. Surreal, amazing, a little terrifying, I admit with a chuckle. How about you, Mr. James? Having any regrets about taking my last name? He spins me around to face him, his eyes twinkling with mischief. Not a single one, though I might need you to initial my ties from now on, so I don't forget who I am. I snort, swatting his chest playfully. As if I'd let you forget. We fall into a comfortable silence, swaying gently to the faint music. My gaze wanders around the gallery, taking in the paintings that line the walls, each one a snapshot of our journey together. Remember that first night? I ask, nodding towards a moody cityscape. When you crashed my exhibition and turned my life upside down? Alex's laugh rumbles through his chest. How could I forget? You looked like you wanted to throttle me when I suggested our little arrangement. Can you blame me? Some smooth-talking businessman proposing a fake marriage? It was insane. Insane, but effective, he counters, pressing a kiss to my temple. Look where it got us. I turn in his arms, meeting his gaze. The love and certainty I see there still takes my breath away. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad you were so persistent, even if your methods were unconventional. Unconventional is my middle name? He quips, then grows serious. Monica, I know our start wasn't exactly a fairy tale, but I wouldn't change a thing. Every obstacle, every fight, every moment of doubt, it all led us here. I reach up, tracing the line of his jaw. Me neither. It made us stronger, made this, us, real. Alex captures my hand, pressing a kiss to my palm. So, ready to start our next adventure? With you? I grin, rising on my tiptoes to brush my lips against his. Always.